show where you decide what we talk about every day. What a move up in these markets, but we could be a little bit on the way down. Didn't have an opportunity to put up the futures as we were a little bit pressed for time there, but Tesla, the #1 name on the ticker list as decided by you, up 4.5%, well off the highs though, guys. 206, what's a look?
Yo,
What's
Tesla.
What's a low? What's good? What's good, homie? All right. Hold on.
What's good is coordinating in blue and representing the Blue Jays, despite, I love that.
Vladdy getting the paid now.
Yo, he's just trying to get paid. He's getting paid like the longs today.
Get paid.
But yeah, Tesla, just about everything else.
Average now.
Oh, he's got to be up to like 320 or something.
Tell me, what are you asking?
He's on fire.
I thought you might know to the digit there.
I'm not as crazy. Like early in the year when they were competitive,
Vladdy, though.
I'm way better with the stats.
I should ask Erin.
Season. No, she does love Vladdy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. She probably knows the stats, man.
Bro, before we go to Tesla,
you're slipping.
I have a sad story to tell. I can't go to the games because I can't get all the way down the steps in the cast. And my wife and daughter were at the game.
Yeah.
And Rebecca said twice there were balls that if I had been there, all I had to do was stand up and do this. Thankfully, the guy behind that caught one time gave to his girlfriend, but then there was another one next to them.
Why didn't Rebecca stand up?
They gave to Aaron. Because Aaron was like laying on her at the time.
Laying on her.
I don't know, whatever was happening. But so it's like with the netting at all these diamonds, if you're close, you don't get balls anymore.
No.
So the fact that there were balls that were even that shallow close to me or where I would have been is a little bit depressing. But it's not depressing if you're long Tesla this morning. Although, so obviously really, really strong. But if you looked at what happened since Bostic and some of these highs happened, I think you have a bit of a rollover in some of these names. So there's a head and shoulders happening on TSLA, on Tesla, that could get back into this 04 support. So it was an 04 break, and now it looks like the key level is going to be like an 04 support on the way back, maybe even like this 206. So stair step up, it broke out that 204 level, continued, that's a bad wick. We didn't see any 220 up there, but 209, I think, or like 208 half or 209 is that high. I think pulling back in, previous top 06, and then from there, you've got the 04 level that stands out like a sore thumb on the way back. But whether we're calling it the comments from Bostic or maybe the market just running a little bit out of steam, who's to know? But Tesla was up well over 5%, and now most things are pulling back in here. But VWAP in 204 is still sitting right there. So I still think there's a chance for that. I'm in Rivian short, so that's usually my time. Rivian underneath VWAP. Rivian is here because Rivian's about to go red potentially. I don't want to draw a line. Every time it's gotten under VWAP, I've gotten back into the short. A couple times we had to get out. Looking for the low of the day here, 1340. There's big support on the daily there at 1330 for RIVN. But I'm in that, and I'm in Chipotle, which I guess we're not. Well, I'll talk Chipotle in a bit.
All right.
I thought that would be on the list, but I guess
Chipotle.
No.
Is that still going down? I mean, I can't believe we talked
about it. It got to
that.
52.
Oh, it got back up, all the way back up?
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Well, I hit 48.
That would have been, I know, that would have been a great short. 52 for sure again. All right, we had Tesla here as a short at 203. And I mean, obviously it's on the board now, not for a short, but for what it's been doing. We're long Palantir, and we just bought more Google right now at these levels. We could talk about those, or we'll just go over what we're supposed to right now. There's Tesla. So, early on, we're still up on the stock. That's what I kind of want to show you. We let it run all the way up, and we are very, very patient, and to the point where in the chat they were like, Sean, you missed it. And I did miss it because it's a good thing. We probably would have been short first there at 203, but instead we got it on the way back down in, and we shorted 203.50, which was great because we're using 204 as the top, and then we took dollar on it. So that wound up being really good. That was a mistake in and out there. Then we reshorted again at 204 before getting out at 204.25. So that breakup really didn't cost us anything. The reason why I really like Tesla, though, in and around that 203 area was this top. We hadn't broken in about a week and a bit. And once we did, then it was off to the races. So again, I was just looking short on it. It was the only short idea that we had on the sticky note today. And obviously, it broke through that level. So I think when we're going to go counter to what the market is doing and you break a key level, then you just continue with that momentum. So realistically, I feel like the missed trade was not in the fact that, we're up on it. It's to try to fight the short was a mistake, although we're up. The better trade was watching the market, seeing that PPI print, and simply just being up that 1.5% to start the day, we could have been a little more patient and waited for that Tesla to break 203. And when it did, we could have gone long. So I feel like that was a better trade, just going long there. But instead we fought the short and we won. So finally we win going counter trend. But that's where you got to have stops, because if you don't, then that one goes up, up and away, just like Elon Musk is up, up and away. His Starlink is up, up and away.
Great product.
He's going to be launching. What isn't there? He's not doing that tunnel anymore, is he? Where that super speed between New York and
no, boring.
the
It's
boring
still there.
company.
Yeah, it's
That company's
still,
too
it's still
boring,
around.
I think.
Kind of lame.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
No,
right.
it's still
They have a little
live.
tunnel
It's
through Vegas I saw for the Teslas. Yeah, from the airport right into the hub there. That was really sick. Have you seen that?
Well, something I would clearly know nothing about in Vegas.
No, but maybe you've seen it.
No, I don't. No, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
The running joke is I've never been to Vegas.
Yeah, I know.
Still.
On that note, Trader TV Live coming straight to Toronto, Ontario. So, all right, what's up, Sharif?
Palantir, Sean, up 2.45, looking to go 2.5 off the highs right now. They reported last week, great earnings report. We're all looking for that $30 break. We all got that $30 break. Let's see if we can stay above it. But there is this headline today: Surf Air Mobility looking to do a joint venture with Palantir for their AI software, which is good because we're looking for them to diversify their contracts away from government contracts into commercial. About 30% of them now, commercial guys.
Yeah, like that's sort of the thing. Like it almost like doesn't matter. Like, oh, they're getting contracts. They're not government contracts. That's the expansion that they need so that people can stop crying about them not having anything outside of the public sector, right? So well, crying is probably an overstatement. It's funny how sometimes you get to the end of the day or late in the day, you start overstating things. Yeah, that's a bit of an exaggeration. No one's crying about the diversification or lack thereof of Palantir's clientele. At least I hope not. But I tried twice at the same level, and I only really liked Palantir. I've come to my 15-minute chart here. I really only like Palantir right back into 30-40. So if you were watching yesterday and then again on Friday, you had Friday's top and then the breakout price where like it was a good break early, and then it's just there was a lack of follow through and it just completely flushed. Should have been a reversal, obviously, but that was the level I liked. It down in at 30-40, tried it a couple times. Every time it would regain that level, I went long, except for the third time. Yay, I wish I could tell you it was a conscious decision not to try to go long that third time, but we had a meeting. So, you know, I took 2 swipes at that level and lost, but I would have taken 3 if we weren't in a meeting. So, yay meeting.
Yeah, so for me, Palantir, we were pretty patient with it. We waited for it to fall back into this bottom level there, but you're going to be able to see something right here. That's us getting stopped out of this long. So we did take about a 20, maybe 15, 20 so cent hit there. Only not out of all of it. Remember, we talked about 75%, so we did get flushed out. Then we bought a little bit more, and then it just rips right back up. And I'm like, I cannot even believe this. It rips all the way back up there. So we did get longer once it fell back in, and then this happened, and we were able to get more out. And we were actually well up on Palantir, getting some out at the 200 period, just basically buying off 30 bucks. Off 30 bucks, what was really 30.20, getting some out here in the 50s. Like, these were all really good outs, and it was a good stock for us. Then all of a sudden it came back in, and we tried it again right there and dropped it out. So we're going to be flat on Palantir, holding right now along. I'm trying to go long, sort of against this bottom, to be honest with you. We do have a decent amount of shares, but we could let it go. Maybe if we break through 95. Just don't really want to be part of this 85 wick or so. I'll probably use it as our out, but I feel like the same thing could happen to us. I just such a bad taste in the mouth after that one. So we're holding Palantir right now. This is what it looks like. We're buying it underneath the 50 period, see if it has a chance to go. If this market does rebound, we did have a little whoopsie daisy in the market. So let's see if Palantir wants to work. I'm long at 12s. So where's the 30-12? We have Google long, Starbucks short. What's that Starbucks short doing? Now only 75 cents in the money. Okay, we let that one sleep a little bit. Let's see if Palantir can get up. We'll take some out at 15s, and then just because that's just the highest we've gotten. And then we'll see about 20s and so on and so forth. So Palantir, I like the long. We're going to try to hold it against that 30.
What a day for Nvidia today, up almost 6%, 5.91, looking to break through the high of the day. You wouldn't have known that was going to happen if you saw the headline this morning. Huawei looking to compete with Nvidia when it comes to their GPUs. Specifically, Nvidia makes 2 GPUs for export to the Chinese market to circumvent those export bans. The H20 and the B20 overnight. Ascend 910C being announced by Huawei, which was an interesting look because some of the machines they need to build it are supposed to be also banned for export. Nonetheless, they're building them. Doesn't matter to the Nvidia though, almost at the high day, guys.
Nvidia. I mean, I'm loving Nvidia. It's going to be a big stock for me, and it actually worked out. I'm going to go to the sticky note one more time because it's on there, and it's exactly what we thought would happen to it. We talked about yesterday. I even mentioned writing it down yesterday and making sure that we had sort of caught it if there was a trade there. Going long. I mean, yesterday Nvidia was up 3, 4, 5%, right? And just kept going. It did have a little bit of a pullback into the end of the day. And then today we wrote down right there on that sticky note, go find it at Trader TV, Sean. You're going to see that we talked about dipping into VWAP. That happened immediately. So we just did that trade. First of all, it dipped into the pre-market lows kind of. We had PPI, so that kind of got that spike there. But it dipped into 112, 112.50. We thought, okay, maybe it's going to hold, so we go long there. Take a little bit out, 13s, maybe 30 cents, 40 cents. Then it dips right into VWAP, and we were able to get 112. And it's not only is it a level of dollar, but it was VWAP at the time. So that's why we took it. It wasn't really too concerned. I didn't really have too many outs. This could have got nasty. If it kept going down, we would have been hit, right? We did take some out there, but just left it to ride. And now we got it at 114. So that's $2, our last little piece there. We didn't do the best of it. We got out of that live on the show, and we were talking about it on the show as it was happening. So not the greatest out there. I thought maybe we were going to break back down below. It was only 10.15. Could have held that for sure. And now Nvidia keeps going. Look at this 200 period hold as well. So maybe that's the key right here. 200 period, 114, 114.50. Something to look at for Nvidia. Felt like I traded it fine. It is my number one idea, and it's P&L number 2 for me. So I'll keep it in the pocket and be pretty happy with the way we traded Nvidia today. Just could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a great look on Nvidia. I'll admit, like I had it as a top idea, just not at the price that it even remotely went to. So I was looking for, and again, 8:30 happened. So right note, you don't have the PPI number at that moment. Obviously, Nvidia did not get back to retest the 109 level, which was where we had the breakout yesterday. It was a good break, only got you to 11. Then the dip couldn't even get back into yesterday's highs. So I was sitting looking for the pullback into previous highs to go that kind of resistance turning into support. Did have a chip long in ARM, although this one could have gone better. I did take a breakout on ARM today that failed almost immediately, pulls right back into that 119 zone. Then when it accelerated through 112, where the players happen to dwell, like that was just as we're prepping for our meeting. Room 112 with the players dwell.
Yeah, good.
125 ARM is at. So, obviously could have done a little bit better. Got basically a scalp trade out of what turned out to be a big move on ARM. But I do not want to ignore this one tomorrow. You've just held the 200 period moving average, consolidated above, and now starting a breakout. I'm not saying we're going to get to $150. It's probably a little bit far-fetched. But as long as you continue this trend, ARM has the ability to stair-step $3, $4 at a time, which provides you with day trade. So when it starts going and trending, you just want to get on board as long as it's going to last. Now, I don't think it's going to do what it did to the downside from the 50 to the 200 period moving average, but if it can have even half that kind of a stair-step up, I think try to keep it simple, find like afternoon support levels, at least 124 if it can hold on for the day. Obviously, the 122 tomorrow is going to come into play. And I'm going to get to Chipotle because it's not on the list. It's at 52. Pretty simple. It rolled over at 52 just before 9 o'clock. Did the SSR bounce? I tried it at 50. It went to like 50 and a half. Pull back in, got out break even. Didn't get it at 48. But if it holds on to 52, I'm short giving it the quarter. If it breaks, I'm out. Do not need this filling the gap all the way back into 53. So basically shorting it off this level in the morning. Took a while to get there, but eventually this got almost all the way back. We'll start.
Raphael Bostic making comments during the midday there, talking about the unemployment rate, saying it remains historically low. The labor market remains strong, but needs careful cooling. Talking about layoffs and not really supported by his contacts, saying no real mass layoffs coming and no recession expected, according to him. But the labor market can slow down without a big economic event. You'll see, as Adair and I were on the midday show, that was the drop there in the market as he was making commentary. Getting bought up, though, and the SPY right now up 1.43, underperforming, though, the leader today on the NQ.
The SPY.
Usually lags the NQ. I mean, the thing is, like the NASDAQ is just a little bit more concentrated in some more volatile tech names, so it's perfectly normal in both directions that you're going to have the NASDAQ outpacing. On up days, it'll outpace up, and down days, it's going to outpace down. So I don't think that's anything crazy. What is looming right now on the SPY is a 50 period. So look, it's been an absolutely unbelievable rally since last Monday. Everyone was panicking, but you still have lower highs. Can we come to my daily? If we come to the daily chart there. Yeah, there we go. You still have this lower high trend to contend with, which is going to coincide, at least in theory, with us getting back to the 50 period on the SPY. So this would be my area of concern this week, is are we just going to come up, have that big move up, and then a hold trend by making a top in around like 45 or maybe just slightly higher, just underneath the 50 level, and then you get a bit of a turn. So that's where, if you got into some good dip buy swing trades, like taking a little bank out of them, not that I pretend that I got a lot of them. I got some Meta, I got some Microsoft, but it might be a decent place to trim when the SPY gets to that 545 area. Just looking at the top of that trend. We haven't even got Nvidia earnings. We still have 2 weeks until they report. So there's a lot that can happen in that 2 weeks. And I think ringing the Reggie, if we get to that 50 period on the SPY, will make some sense. We're not getting anywhere close to that level today. As I say that, I mean, we're not going to. I don't need to make some ridiculous comment. We're not going $5 more on the SPY. Are we?
I don't know. I mean, that's the problem when it's so news-based. We have to wait to see if there's anything that drops. I'm trying to debate what we want to do here with Google. Again, a component, obviously, of the S&P 500 as well. But yeah, all right, we'll leave it. All right, let's go talk about crypto. There's a couple interesting plays there today, as we talked about Mara and Coinbase and whatnot. And Bitcoin now above 61 again.
Yeah, interesting report here from Gladstone, which is a blockchain analytics firm, basically saying long-term holders of Bitcoin were using July to accumulate the asset, holding it right now. You see it had a hell of a day today, up over 3.5%. I know that some of the init start times for Bitcoin can differ. My platform says 3.5%, but it is, guys, above that $61,000 area.
I have one trade on Mara here, and I said we'd take a flat bottom break on Mara. It's not the same as yesterday, that 1550, but it was 15 even. So, and this is a 3-minute chart, by the way. Maybe I'll put up a 1 minute just so you can see this. Oh, what just happened?
The market's coming.
Okay, well, that was weird. It took a second to load. I'm like, is that going to crash on me? So it broke $15, and I fired a short order. Down to 14.94, something like that. We crossed to, did not get a fill on the way down. I came up to 75. Like, okay, let's leave it in, see if we get picked up. I had a stop at this local high here at 1505. Essentially, I'm like, I'll risk the 10 cents. But this is the difference. It's SSR. If I catch it on the way down, it's an easy 2-to-1, and then you just kind of hold. But on the way up, it was a different story. It just broke it out. And probably the only trade that I'm upset with was as it started trending higher, and when it broke VWAP, I put this trend line in and then actually didn't take it when it broke the trend. Not that it was super clean, but it was a pretty good trend break in here. And a lot of times, once the stock holds VWAP and starts to go and break out the high, I'll just throw one of these up. And if it does happen to give you like a clean turn like this, like the idea is that you just kind of short it here, and I would throw a stop here, so you get like a little bit of a win. Maybe you get wicked out and try and jump back into it at that 1585. But yeah, I didn't catch that one. 120. Oh yeah, well, we weren't in the meeting at that time. I thought we'd come out of it by then. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's a good little trend reversal there on Mara as Bitcoin got back underneath that 61.
Yeah, Mara was interesting. And then also we looked at Coinbase earlier today and talking about it getting, and this is what I sort of wanted to mention, is that we were right here, man. We were right at a key level for Coinbase, and that was that $200 level. So we sort of brought that up right into here as we break a little bit higher through 198 and then getting above 200. The interesting thing is that little bottom there before we gapped over the weekend, I guess, over the weekend there, was this 202 area, and that's virtually the top for today for Coinbase. So just wanted to bring this attention sort of to myself as well that, if we can be above this area tomorrow, feel like we're going to start to think about some longs again on Coinbase. So we just did a nice move back up. Can't believe it was 160 on Monday, but there's so many prices that were way off.
It was so ridiculous on Monday.
Like it was days, the good old days.
I don't wonder, and this is 100% hindsight. There's no question about it. But on that Monday, I remember like my process on the Monday was, okay, well, just focus on trying to get one breakout at the open.
Right.
And now I'm looking back at it, and it might have been better to try and get like 2 or 3 fills, just like maybe spread it. Because if you didn't get filled on a breakout on Monday, on that the panic Monday last week, not this Monday, like you had one shot, and that was pretty much it. I just wanted to quickly show iBit did have a reversal off the high. I was in this one for a couple of scalp trades, but then it always going to put that stop at the high of the day. It ran the stop to the high. This would have been iBit, this is 35, but it's like that 61 area. So, it was actually just above the 61 area. So Bitcoin made a local high. I was going to play the mean reversion, had it a couple times. Eventually, it just kept on trending higher, and we got out at that top. So we did have Mara and that as well. Apparently, Uber is going, as I see in the chat, from JP Swade.
What's up, JP?
Great name.
Maybe Swede? Swade?
Is it? Wait a minute. Did I read it wrong?
Swede with
Oh,
E at the end?
Oh, that's...
I don't know how you pronounce that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's Uber going exactly? I took the Uber Clipper there. That was really good. If anybody's there in London,
That's so dope.
I suggest you guys doing that. That was
No one
pretty
says
hype,
dope
man. You got
anymore.
to buy something. No one says dope anymore. But yeah,
I do.
All right. First of all, right now, Palantir. What saved or not? I mean, we just got long at 3. I mean, look where we're long right now. 03s. We average it in, so it's not like this is a huge trade. But we were waiting for 15s last time. Didn't come in. Able for it to fall right into 30 again. So we'll take pieces out. We're still holding half of this trade for a little bit higher into the 20s. I want to see if we can get back up here. Let's break through and let's see about this. Like I'm actually waiting at 26, which I should have. I should be at 24. What am I at? 26. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, sometimes I just go up and enter. But right into here, we should be around 24, 25. I like to trade around those quarters. That little bottom there is 20 as well. So let's put 5% there, around 19 or so. See if we can get that fill on 19s. Then we'll see about some 20s, and then hopefully a little bit higher on that one. All right, the other name that we're trying to sort of weasel our way into here is Google, but it's not really doing... So Google, all of a sudden, man, I mean, this went up to... Apple's my P&L number 1. Google's now my P&L number 2. And we absolutely, like... Honestly, what we were doing when we left you guys at 10:30, we were just going long off of this 163. We know it's the Google event today. We went long again just before the event as well off of VWAP, which was fantastic. And there it is, boom. I mean, look, these longs are 163.70. These outs are 164.30, 164.40. Good out, then it drips right back into us again. We say thank you very much. Take that long again. But now, we are thankful for that fill, but it's still underneath VWAP right now and just hanging on. So not as excited about our Google trade now as we were when we were above VWAP, but we were lucky enough to get that fill, and we're using it against 40s. We're using it against 40s down here. If that breaks it, then we'll get out of Google. I guess that event is done, and I'm assuming I'm putting on my Michael Noss hat here. I have no idea about anything macro having to do with Google today, whether or not that was a successful launch. I heard Adara talking about that they were having problems with the demonstration. Yeah. The minute I heard, me and Adara had different ideas. She was going short, thinking that there was a problem with that demonstration there. Maybe it was, but I was doing the opposite. I was buying all of those plays, and that was giving me that 70, 80 cents or so to that upside.
Does it bounce that same spot like multiple times on?
Yeah, just VWAP. Well, I mean, honestly, it was this move that came in right here. This was it right here at 115. And I was Adara. I heard her say they're having a problem with something. And then as soon as that went down, I was like, that's a buying opportunity. So I just sat there and was bought 163.80s and then out there 164.20. It's not like it was a huge trade, but it was pretty good. But right now, we need this to get back up to the upside. I will start to piece some of this out as we go. But right now, it's Palantir. That's on my mind. See if we can get upside a little bit here on PLTR. Make that one sing a little bit. Should be okay. Amazon at 170, Rivian Millionaire.
Yeah, but the thing about Amazon being at 170s, it did get to 171. So this is a lower high here for Amazon.
Okay, the keynote has
finished. The Google keynote is finished. So, well, whatever. I guess
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know if it's good or bad either. Like it's like the Apple event. Sometimes you get whatever direction it was going. When they finish it, it's going the other way. So who knows if that's gonna be the same with Alphabet.
Got hit a little bit there.
But I'm looking at this Amazon, kind of putting in those lower highs. If it doesn't hold this current one and break back out this 170 quarter level, I kind of just threw this. It should be at the quarter. It's at like 28 that line, but it doesn't matter. You get the idea. That should be down here somewhere. If it doesn't break this out, this could be a pull right back into like 169.5. So I got the eyeballs on Amazon just for a test of this 170.25. Rivian's pulling back up here. I might look to short that pop. And then the other thing, so there's that. And then Uber broke out the high, is trending above this flat top break. So there's flat top break, dips right back into support, and then just made a fresh high. That 70.65 was the earlier top on Google. So looking for it to hold that on any kind of a dip. This is a good looking trend stock today. Just up, up, up and away. For some reason wasn't on the radar. Yesterday was last week it was a good continuation play. But when it took out that top, you can see how strongly it's running. So Amazon can't seem to get back to the highs. Google's doing everything it can to get to 71, looks like. I'd like to be long in front of 65 though.
All right, Nike we had earlier. Just trying to see if there's anything moving around. We can look at that Amazon trade for sure. Apple 221 in change. Where's Tesla? 20 Tesla. What a bounce off the 200 period moving average. Right there for Tesla. 206 in change. Right there. Okay, come on, Palantir. We just took some out more at 18s. We're waiting for 19s. Got a little impatient. Took 18s there. But there's Tesla right here, looking like it wants to go again. So great job on that today, up 5%. I mean, what a good name there, Tesla. Breaking higher. We thought that we had that little bit of a mishap, I guess they were saying on X yesterday with the former President Trump, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the stock by any chance.
Well,
today,
if it's so popular that it crashes, isn't that?
Yeah, I don't really know that much about it.
I don't know. I don't know either. I didn't watch the event, but I would think that if it's that popular, it's not necessarily bad news.
We mentioned that Google was off of their. Yeah, no, I don't think it's bad news either. Google's event was now over, so we just bounced off 80 there. Let me put an offer for this name around 78. We'll see if it wants to get going right there. Just stopped at 78. So look, I don't think that these wicks are that significant, especially when we're off of some sort of an event like that. But there it is again. It stopped numerous times right here at 78. That time it maybe got 78.5. But it stopped. And sometimes it's weird when that happens. You'll have somebody there with a hidden order or something where it's trying to blast through and then it just refreshes and you might get one tick higher, but then the offer comes right back in. So we'll have to play a little bit of that game, unfortunately. Actually, no, we don't. Forget it. Let's just cancel that. I'm going to stick to it. We're at 85, so we're trying to get in and around this 50-period moving average. Let's just see it, break that, get up here, and then I feel like a 164. Although we're only long at 75s, that gets us 25 cents, which is good. Remember where our stop was going to be around 40 break, so this level there, which is 48.45. So hopefully we can go at 1-to-1 on this one. Palantir just almost stopped. I don't want to say on a dime, but we have a bunch of outs there. Again, right here at 19s and 20s, we actually talked about those fills. So now it's pulling back in a little bit as Palantir, as we hope that Google can go. And hopefully Palantir can get a little bit of a bid on it. What's up, Adara?
Other comments coming through here from Fed's Bostic with regard to the workforce. He did mention the labor force earlier today, but right now saying that, quote, the supply of workers in the economy is growing, which is a good problem to have. So interesting look here. We'll have to see if the S&P 500 does, but we do have near highs of day here. Some more comments coming through with regards to the economy from Fed's Bostic, guys.
Okay, I mean, for some reason I thought he was done by now, but
Fed's Bostic.
when they release them from their quiet periods, they tend to get a little bit loud. The more you get your name out there, I guess the bigger the payday you get after you've left the Fed. So Amazon here just got 170. Talked about this 170.25 level, lower highs off of it. So I more or less have the 70 price as a fill. When it's 04 is basically the same thing. Just wick that top one more time. If we do get down into those 75, 80s underneath the 170, going to look to grab some out there. I am on the bid of Uber. If we get the dip buy on that trend to the upside, we'll get over there on Uber. There's been a lot of questions. Naresh in the chat has mentioned Square, and I've seen a lot of people throughout the day looking at the fintech names particularly. So when you have a day like this in the NASDAQ, the love gets spread around, and I'm looking at this chart as opposed to the daily chart in Square because there's a very big difference. Look at what happened at VWAP on this. Now, I wasn't really looking at Square at any point today for strength. Sometimes when Bitcoin's strong, this can be strong as well, but it's more of a fintech rally. Holding VWAP, the only problem with Square would be the daily chart, which I hid until now. This looks pretty solid over this 64 level. Like on the daily, it looks to me like liquidity grab in the mid 50s or underneath there, and then higher low, let's try to break it out. The problem with Block or Square, whatever you want to call it, is the last time it did this, hey, good break there. It goes right up to this big resistance at 74 and just dumps. So that's not good at all, but hey, there's room to 74. So I'm looking at this and I'm going to write down Square 64 for Thursday because I have a follow-up with my surgeon tomorrow. So if it does it tomorrow, then I won't be in the trade. Although I suppose if it gets to 74, I could always sell it on my personal account because that's been such a good long-term position for me.
Where?
I kid.
Yeah, no,
It is not.
No, it's not a good long-term position, but it might be back soon. I remember buying Square. I was, during the pandemic, it was $35 or something, but it did rips from there.
It's that lesson of,
obviously huge.
you know, when you hold on to like that last 10, 15% of something, you're like, oh, I'm going to sell it because everything's coming down and raise some cash. And then you're like, oh, I'll just leave some in there. And then you just leave it, and then you just leave it, and then you just leave it, and you leave it. And then you look back a few years later and like, that was pretty senseless. I say this every single time for a reason, because ultimately it's like every little penny that you do that with is another penny that could go into like just buying more Qs or buying more whatever it is that you're into. So yeah, Block 64 might break. If it does it this afternoon, I probably won't have it. But if it does it maybe in the morning on Thursday, I like that breakout. It looks better on the daily chart. You can't really see it on the 15-minute. But yeah, if it can make this breakout here, looking pretty good. Liquidity grab, holds low on the earnings, trying to break a bit of a trend. It didn't really look at PayPal, just Square. Rivian Millionaire wants to short Hood, huh?
Yeah, really? Does he want to? Okay. I don't think he should do that, but I can look at that in a minute. The only name that we are short right now is Starbucks. And I mean, Starbucks was an absolute dream to trade this morning, honestly. It was really fun to do that. We never wound up getting burned on it, which was thankfully because we could have on this name, that's for sure. But here's Starbucks here. We let it go all the way to the upside. We kept getting stopped out. I mean, we talked about it. We were making money, stopped out, making money. But then eventually we let it go. And I mean, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Fortunately, as Neil mentioned there, we, I wasn't here for this touch, but I don't know if I would have got out anyways. That's 92. So we shorted up here 95. That's where we're short 94, 92s. But the bigger trade was multiple shorts up here at 95. Eventually, thought it was going to come back into the downside. Look at this fill right there. That's a 93.25 fills. That's $1.75. Then we reloaded it at 94.50, and then that out rate here is 93 flat. So that's another $1.50. So Starbucks has been pretty good. We still do have a piece right now. Maybe should have shorted 94. Let's see if it wants to fall down again on Brian Nickel there coming over from Chipotle. And I know Neil was in that Chipotle trade just a couple of seconds ago, right? Or no?
Yeah, all the way. It can't be
there it is.
So
now it's, yeah, so that's the trade. So up to 52 again. Now the fall back down 8%. I thought
down that much.
No, I thought it would have been worse. I mean, I've sort of talked about that. So my bad on that one. We were right early, but it's battled back. And there's Google. Let's go. Not to say, I mean, this is not necessarily diamond hands. And thankfully, we didn't get out where we said we wanted to get out there. We taken out at 85 there, and 87 is where we're at right now. So hopefully, we can now climb back into this area of 164.20 and say whoosh. Thankfully, hit that trade pretty good there with Google. We were able to get some more out on Palantir as it came back up to 17.18. Not really sure what we want to do with this trade right now with PLTR, but I don't mind holding on for a little bit. A little disappointed because the futures had come back up. I mean, we finally took the 50. We started to go again, and maybe if we break higher, it's all good. But Palantir right now, even though yesterday was sort of a flat day, we did have a little bit of a pullback, and then you could see yesterday's red candle. So for the day, and then now today, we already made that huge move back to 31, and now it doesn't want to go again. So I'm getting a little nervous about Palantir, to be honest with you. Maybe we'll take a little bit more out. It's 11 cents in the money now, 12 cents.
And don't worry, Naresh. I just see you say there in the chat, before I go, don't miss on BABA and PDD. I've seen you mention Alibaba a couple times today. It's got a great looking double top break. If it wasn't the afternoon when Chinese ADRs tend to go to sleep, I'd be telling you, hey, let's look 81.40 breakout on Alibaba, because it does look good on the daily. It's already taken out this local high. I mean, it's broken a trend. It's taken out this July high. It just has to break this top off here at 81. Check that, 81.50. So you know what? Whenever I look at a double top on the day like this at 81.40, always zoom out because it's so easy. Remember, I was just looking at this one. Hey, look, 81.40 at the open. That's a double top break. And then you go over to the 15-minute chart. Yesterday's high is 81.50. Well, you know which long I'd want on a break? Not 81.40. That's the answer. it's got to be this top. So when in doubt, zoom out, because it's not that it doesn't matter that much. But if it breaks 81.40, goes like 5 or 6 cents in the money, it looks like it's about to go, you're like, yeah, I got it here, it's starting to run, then fails this high of yesterday's, and you didn't even know that yesterday's high was a thing, then you're wasting time. It needs to clear out this level at 81.50 for Alibaba. That's worth putting on the old radar here, just in case it does it before 3 o'clock. Well, that's a fun one after the bell.
Alibaba.
Kit reporting earnings.
Oh yeah, I guess we could look. We could look.
I'm not making this up. I watched, for some reason, these like Knight Rider things were showing up in my YouTube like suggestions, and I was watching videos of Knight Rider on the weekend, and it was completely random. I have no idea why.
It is.
Thank you, Google. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah, see, it's predicting.
It knows I like.
It's almost like we're predicting stuff here as well. I mean, look at Google right now. Now Google, there's that 164, so bang. That's exactly the trade we're looking for. We actually talked about this. This fill right there is 55.56. So it's a nice move back up to the upside there. Palantir as well. Let's go. You guys know that we've been liking this name for a minute. We'll get some more 19s out here as we did. So that was a good trade there. Nice little bump up. You can see here, I mean, if we can go from bottom there basically into the 200, that's always good. That's 28. We said we were waiting at 26s. I'm just going to be stubborn and keep it there. See, actually, no, I'm going to cancel. Let's see if we can really go upside here. Where is that? Let's just put it at the 50 period of 28. Let's not worry about it. I mean, if it goes up there, it goes up there. If not, it doesn't. So we'll just do that and wait to see. It's a good trade. The good trade for me was Google there. All right, so let's just talk about Starbucks. I almost feel like we only have a small piece of this one left, but it was a good little reload there, about a third of that position. And I don't necessarily want this to go against. So we just shorted 94.60s, or what do we have? 94.52s. That fill rate there is 09, so that's 40 cents. That's, wait a minute, 94. That's $1.50. Okay, and right now, I feel like if we could break this 94 area right here, then we'll just get out of the last piece. So we'll get 40 cents, $1.50, and then 40 cents, and cry about it a little bit later, because here we go. So thank you, stock, for that one. And that's the best part about it. Now, all of a sudden, you know, now every time I see these Starbucks things flow through, we know that it's due to, obviously, you know, my family loving Starbucks, and then also we can pay for it with some of the profits. So that was nice. That's probably why, that's part of why I started investing in Rogers and Target when it was here, and Starbucks, and
I still like
all that stuff, Lululemon and back in the day and all that. Nike even right now. That's why I bought some Nike. I'm a maniac like that. Right, 94.11.
Delayed reaction after, like, Nike pops after the Olympics. It's like you're looking for the Olympics bounce. It's like the Olympics finish, and once they're done, the very next session, essentially, Nike starts going. Bit of a delayed reaction, but that was what was anticipated a bit.
That's why when you're trying to buy Nike, you better just do it.
Right? Whoosh. We stole the whoosh on my university track team. When everyone would line the track at the end of the meets for all the relays and stuff. So you'd be going by in the 400, and when you got to our corner, they did the whole whoosh to motivate you along, which was jokes, because I'm like, oh, you guys didn't do it this time. I'm like, yeah, we did, because you're so focused, you have no idea. But hey, it's cool and it's fun. So as the market just broke the highs, not everything went up there. Amazon held its consolidation and broke down back underneath that 170. So it's trying, but it's just run into this wall of sellers at 170 change, it seems, on Amazon. So for now, it's looking a little bit weak. I mean, relative to everything else, ES breaking highs, NASDAQ breaking highs, is putting in a lower high. Uber still slowly creeping toward a 71 even break. Like, I'm looking, let me cancel this one because we're not going to get that dip by. So looking local bottom on Uber, or simple breakout through 71. So if you're wondering what that like green thing is above 71, that's just simply a limit order if it breaks 71 even, right? Like I'm not bidding above the current price. That's if it breaks 71, how far my limit order is going, because I don't use market orders. What else are you guys looking at? Let me know. Let us know in the chat. If you want to engage in the chat and communicate with us, or just communicate within our fantastic community, make sure you hit that subscribe, because it's a subs-only chat. So if you want to ask us questions, we've been asked about Uber all day long. That's why I brought it up. See the trend? Hey, let's try and participate with it. Alibaba could break 81.5. That's something that got pointed out to our viewers, pointed out by our viewers here. So you're always going to get some good ideas, stocks that are moving. And if you want to participate, hit that like, hit that subscribe right quick, and let us know what you guys are interested in. Tesla would be interesting to have a look. So Uber's about 5 cents from breaking that top. You might see it pop in there for me. Wow, the same consolidation. Like, look at this. I guess everything is consolidating right now. Well, not everything, but some things are consolidating. So when the market breaks highs, I'm always wary of the thing that doesn't want to go with it. On Tesla, so let this one break down. If this were to break down, $3 to VWAP. All it has to do is break underneath. Maybe you could break in either direction. I almost don't care. Break this, 207.35. Break this, 206. Call it 75 underneath the 80, and then just look for a quick trend. And you got $2, or $1.50 this way, $1.50 that way. But while it's inside there, it feels like it's too strong to fade at this point. It's over all of the morning highs, so far away from that 204 level. What a good day there for Uber. But its strength is part of the reason why I like that Rivian, because Rivian's just been, like, it's had its moments, but you know, generally speaking, as long as you try to get back over to it, like, it stinks. Like, this EV name is under trouble. The only good thing for Rivian is this, 13.25 is a bit of a bottom. So when it gets to that level, get out of the short, and as long as it can hold 13, it's got some semblance of life.
Wow, that Uber, oh man, missed opportunity there for sure on that
Strong.
crazy day. But there was lots of opportunities that day, of course. All right, so this is an opportunity. It's Google. We you know, pound the alarm when we came on the air. We talked about it here. There's one fill, there's two fills, and there's boom to the upside right there. Google still not overtaking Apple as my #1, but it is climbing up to that upside. So we're pretty happy with trading there today on that name. And then Palantir, yeah, we did it on that as well. It comes all the way up. We get a 24 fill right there ahead of 25. And then we were waiting for, I mean, we told you we were getting greedy and we were like, let's go for it. We waited for a bigger fill here at 28s. That did not happen. So we'll take that 24 fill right there. We missed the 28, which kind of, obviously, looking at it now, I would have liked to just take it all out right here and then reload this at the 50-period moving average. Don't necessarily like that it's coming down. I'm going to put an offer here at 16s, see if we can get that. Check back in on Google quickly. Still above, but you know, let's not be overconfident here on these longs. I mean, we did just buy the bottom, and then the market just went right back to day's high again. So we should be rewarding ourselves, which we did do. So far, so good, man. I mean, everything is working today. Some days it doesn't, some days it does. Our Tesla trade would still like to look at this. I still think a long for Tesla. I don't want to fight too much here. If the market decides to give it up, I'd like to see a 19 break down there. I heard Sharif and Adair talking about 19,000, obviously, on the midday as well, as we start to break higher there through 1130. Haven't really I mean, there's that one retest there, which I think we bought that. And then since then, we haven't done anything. So we'll wait to see if it does come in there. What was that spike again? Is that more Iran news or something? I don't know.
That was Bostic, I think.
Must have been. Okay, so moved down there to 19. So
I thought I heard Sharif and Adair say something about Bostic.
Okay, so might have been something there. But that's what that is. So, all right, good out on Palantir. We got some out there at 16. You saw me put that order in. Now it's at 13, so that's good. And then Google, we did take another out at 04. Now it's just chilling out. So if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, we could definitely do that. Would like to get long Nvidia, so people may be asking about that. We can.
Yeah, I mean, Nvidia.
Look.
I seen Roku in the chat. We get to that earning board. When do they report?
Roku? I don't know. I got to look to see who's reporting.
Did we miss Roku? Hold on a second. I think they might have reported already. Yeah, they reported at the beginning.
Pretty much most have.
Yeah, they reported at the beginning of the month. You know what? Roku made a good bottom in here. Let me just throw up my. I'm going to get to Nvidia in a quick little second, but I saw Roku first, and I wanted to make sure we got this one. It was Holly in the chat asking about Roku and TSM. Like, this was a good liquidity grab for Roku, as bad as the stock has been. So earnings, kind of flushed off earnings, held on to this higher low at about 52. You have to go way back to 2023 for levels like this. Now I can zoom in, and it's a bit of a continuation break here, I suppose, on Roku, trying to get through $57 as we speak. I think 60 is a bigger deal, because that's above that earnings top. There, that 60 level looks good, but this is what we meant when the lesson of the day. Liquidity grabs are generally when you do a bunch of volume at or just underneath a key support level, and then you get the reversal. You tend to be able to trend a little bit better off one of those. So let's see what happens there on Roku and Nvidia. Yeah, those candles. I guess it was Bostic, but Nvidia just seems to want to climb and climb. Look at it hold that 115. Yeah, 115 to 115.75. It's a long time to hold a tight range in Nvidia. It looks like it just wants to gear up for another run at the top. How far can Nvidia retrace? The answer right now looks like 35 cents, and then it bounces. Bless you.
Yeah, bless you. 170. I know. So we traded Amazon today to flat. So we haven't really done anything on Amazon. We were trying to go short. Short was fine early. We talked about why we like that short again into some of these pre-market levels and into levels that were not breaking yesterday. But then once the machine gets turned on, it gets turned on. I'm really love Amazon above 170. I just don't know about it today above 170 because it's just floating. You get that break up to 171 the very first time it tested it, boom. That's a huge dollar move, but then the fade out and now it's not doing much. So I want to flip long bias on this, but I sort of am thinking you could use these as a top. Like if we could get back to 170.50 or 170.80, something in there, we could just put on our patience hat a little bit and see if that will come in. Then I think that's a decent play there. 170.80, 170.80 up to 171. But for right now, it's kind of just nice consolidation. I would like a breakdown if you're looking short. I know and some people are asking in the chat, so I said I'd go over some stuff. All right, let's go Google. Google right now is 50 cents in the money and going. Yes, all right. That's a good one, man. The more and more we sit here and trade, the more it's like just trade the names that you're already up on. It's too easy sometimes because you already have the right bias and you're probably doing good on it already. So that's why you're up on it. But okay, so 170. I'm just looking at Amazon. I wish there was a trade there, but I'm not so concerned. Oh, I just read that from Paula. What's up, Paula? Paula, are we concerned about CPI? Yes, very, very concerned. 170.20 down into 169.80. I mean, all right. So I just kind of like tongue in cheek that answer, but when you're going to look to see what happened this morning, we had PPI come out. Nothing was really happening. The market was pretty flat. It was into yesterday's level. Then all of a sudden, PPI came a little bit better. Here it is right here at 8:30. Wait a second, the time 7:30. It's this little spike right here. So there it is right there. We were at 18,750. We're pretty flat. We were up, had a nice move down. This is just going 24 hours, but you're just into some normal ranges. Then PPI came out, and then since then, it's just been straight up. I mean, sure, there's been some consolidation. We had Bostic speaking. We had big Starbucks and Chipotle news. We obviously had Google event happening as well. We have Tesla. We have individual stories happening. Nvidia is really nice too. But at the end of the day, the market is up. So what if CPI comes even cooler than the PPI? PPI was 2.2 versus 2.3. So I'm thinking to myself, this could be a move that we need to respect tomorrow morning. And so, have I made any changes in the personal account? No. I did sell. I should maybe say I got out of some Solana today at 150. We've talked about some of those trades. I last got some out at 190 there on the crypto side of things. And then today at 150, order filled. Let me just check what it's at now. It's probably at 170. That's what happens. All right there. Yeah, so 140. So still the same area. 147 and change. So we got a 149.95 fill. So funny. Even when I trade crypto, I still put like little scalp trades in it. So stupid. But anyways, there it is. So that's a good one. That'll come back in. If anything, I kind of want to rotate everything into Bitcoin. So that could be something eventually. But just trying to raise a little bit of capital here on some of those plays. But I haven't done really anything else as far as CPI preparation. The other name would have been Starbucks. And I didn't actually get out of any of this. So it's in my longer term account. It wasn't in my swing trade account. I wanted to buy this for the longer term. If I did have it in and was thinking about a swing trade, it would have already triggered. Like I would have thought about getting out around here, 88. We talked about this morning. But there's the nice move up on a new CEO change. Let's see if they can right the ship there for Starbucks. So we bought Starbucks. We checked it this morning. We bought Starbucks 74.40s. We bought Nike 72 and change. Both of them really reacting nicely today. And then you also get I don't know if it's a strong consumer or not. Obviously, Home Depot's going to be a little different than those of us that are wearing Nikes and drinking Starbucks. But right there, a Home Depot up 2%. So that's a nice play there. So
Buyer was early on.
What's up, Joshua Kim?
Home Depot VWAP all morning long. And then when it finally released, it just flew away. Like there's a reason why traders look at VWAP.
Look at this.
That's easily why. But I'm going to go over to Mar in a quick little second because I even said there in the chat something about Mar that I want to get to. But I have to go to Amazon first because Amazon took out that quarter. We short the consolidation. It went like 15 cents in the money. I was looking for the breakdown into here for about 30 pennies because we're risking about that 15 up to the top. But it just broke out the high. So I'm going to get out of Dodge on this one. It's gliding higher. I'd love to see it hold a consolidation for a run up to 17, but it's certainly catching up, maybe not that much. And I was asked if I still like the flat bottom break on MAR. My answer was yes, but not as much as yesterday. And the difference is yesterday, MAR was trending down into 1550. When it broke this, you were trending down into the same support level and weak on the day. There you go. Like it was a down day, trending lower, underneath VWAP. Whereas today is a reversal day where like you're just trying to trend break it, but not as much, not as much weakness overall in MAR or in Bitcoin in general as you get to that level. So yeah, I still like it. Take a shot at it. Yesterday, you risk like 2 or 3 cents, and the stock goes like 40. Here, you basically the same thing, just in case it wants to fall apart. But you'll see, very different. Like that broke down and just immediately held underneath. Today, on a stronger day, it breaks down and immediately gets right back up to that flat bottom break there on Mara. So just want to be cautious with it. Still nothing much happening. Uber just broke 71. So as I was about to say nothing was happening, Uber just took out the highs, broke that 71 even. And Uber is such a strong day, 2.5%. But the host of names that are up over 7 or up a couple of points today is a long one. You can pick and choose. We were talking about Block the other day, or just a couple minutes ago. That's up like over 3%. So Uber just took out 71. Let's see how far this one does want to go. We've tried to dip by, but never really dipped all that far. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. If you feel lost in the noise of the market, then you need Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro cuts through the clutter and gives you the insights you need to make smarter, faster trades. From real-time news to unusual options activity, we'll show you exactly what's moving the market and why. Don't miss out on the chance to trade like a pro. Visit benzinga.com/pro to start your free trial today.
Yeah, we use Benzinga all the time here, so shout out to Benzinga. I love Joshua there in the chat. He's like, oh, Sean just sitting there on this monster Google trade and just ho-humming it. I mean, look, yeah, basically. It's you guys already know what's good. We talk about this trading. We talk about giving you guys the trades, whether or not we get taken out of them or for losers or for winners. We're going to show you guys the trades that we're thinking about, and that was one of them. And we had just posted it right there as well over here on something called X. And it was just like, first of all, we put all of our trades, well, not all of the trades, but as much as we can there. There's the buy. This is my nice penmanship. There's the buy. There's the buy. There's the buy. There's the buy. I mean, it is about having that confidence and going back to the well and hitting it, and not being afraid to tell you guys where the money is being made. And it's being made on Google today. It's being made on Apple today. It's being made on Nvidia today. It's just all the same stuff, man. We bought Nvidia off the open, obviously getting out there, but still, those are good trades. Shorting Starbucks has been a great trade today as well. We're waiting for 94 change to come in. So it's just like, this is what it is. This is, sticking in your zone and being comfortable with how you're trading and understanding how you trade allows you to be on, and we talked about being on the podium and stuff like that. That's how you're able to get there every single day, pretty much, is by following your rules and being consistent. Sometimes you'll go through hard spots, that's for sure. But at the same time, you got to try to battle through them and stick with it. And when things are working, they're working. We took a little bit more out there on Palantir. So that's what that is, man. Shopify breakout. Yesterday, we shorted Shopify. We can have another look at that one. That was a great trade. That was P&L number one yesterday was Shopify, kind of out of the blue. But yeah, I mean, again, wow. To be able to buy that down there again, like I said, last week was absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like this. Come back to see something like this all the time. Like Shopify's valuation last week for some reason was $48. Now it's $70. So there it is, man. Nice move up with and a breakout. So I agree. Shopify is breaking out. Tomorrow, this is a long. Let's just get above $70 and then see where we stand. 69.75. I like the stock. It's a good mover there. It's Shopify. And I'm not shorting it today. If anything, I may break this thing out right here through 70 today. Why? I mean, why not? That could be a great long. Who mentioned that there? Was it Hey Davis or? Oh, you're welcome, Hey Davis, right there. Thank you for another couple of great trades. That's what we're here for. We're not red. I mean, what are we red on? We're red on Starbucks, barely. We'll see what's happening with this Palantir trade. And then the monsters of the midway are here. So yeah, man, that's what that is. Just quickly, I don't know who it was, but anyway, someone said something about Shopify there. Oh, there it is right there. Ian. Yeah, I like the odds of that. So shout out to Ian. And make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe and get going on all of that. That's the way you can be in that chat, get reminders of everything that we're doing. There you go. Someone talking about the Google Pro Buds right now.
They do have AI, because that was what Sharif was mentioning. He's like, oh, I wanted to have the AI in the buds. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Which, I mean, come on. You know they're going to do it. Like, that's like low-hanging fruit, I would think.
I don't know what that means, AI in the buds. I don't know. Like Apple, you can
of course,
you
can talk to the AI assistant or whatever with your buds. Just one thing on Shopify. Remember, Shopify did break 70 yesterday, and then it got to like 70. So went 1% up on a 70 break right at the open, and then flushed back in, higher low. So this is looking pretty juicy. And if you remember last week, Shopify was one of those good longs, like I'm talking about like the clean continuation longs last week, and it was a good one. Particularly, you got to go back to, it was Tuesday, I think it was. Was that Tuesday? I don't know, whatever the 8th was, doesn't really matter. Middle of the week. Who cares? It was a dip right into a previous high, and then it just went station to station. It was a dip into 63, and then it was right into that 68 level. 68 then holds as support. Now you're trying to threaten the 70 break. Like Shopify last week, continuation plays on earnings, man. But that's one of the things we were saying last week about Palantir and Uber. Like Uber did the same thing. Broke out, pulled right back, showed you where it wanted to hold, and then it went. Now that was the day that I think we were on Shopify, and then I think it was like Shopify and Palantir for whatever reason, and we just forgot about Uber. Or maybe Obi was in Uber. But I know that I wasn't in it. I was in Shop that day instead of Uber. But it's the same exact thing. Continuation of a trend that shows you the level to trade off of. So when it gives you the breakout above, just take that long. So Uber just broke the 70s. It's trying to get into those teens. You can see it here trading at like 11s and 12s.
Nvidia.
Out at that 10 level. And Nvidia is trying to break out the highs again.
Yeah, 116 again, big trade. I'm going to try to take a little bit of a long. I didn't really cross up that much. I'll have to, there's only about 10 cents here. There it goes. Okay, so we're in right now on that cross up. So there goes NVDA. We did take some more out on Google as well. We'll see how far NVIDIA can fly upside. Oh, we had do we have a cross market there? I offered out. What did I get? I thought I got 18s. Oh, no, we get 10s. Okay. Not good. I don't want to take 10 cents on this. Let's keep flying to the high. So we actually get out 10% there for 10 cents. Thought it was 18s. Check my eyes a little bit there. All right, let's go back up there to the upside. Now we're at 116.18. That must have been the key that I hit, but it got filled at 10. So I don't know what happened there, but okay, here we go. We're long right now through 116 on Nvidia. I was just doing a little bit of work there. I feel like 50 cents might be within some kind of a risk spot there, because here's the 115. Where's the 114 break? That's what I wanted to find first. There's the 114 break right here. That's basically where we got out. Breaks it, goes 50 cents, comes back in about 50 cents, then goes. Then you have the 115 break, which is right. So bounce, bounce, bounce. There's the break right there. And then there's the go up to 80s or so before it pulls back about 50 cents. So let's wait to see what happens now with NVIDIA. We're long, and we're going to see here, again, what is up with that. So hopefully it can get back up. We are offering 116.18 for some reason, so that's what we're going to do right there, right now. And let's go, man. Also on Palantir, let's go spin the money. This is what, I mean, we're here. We're taking some more out. We just got 17s. I wish it was going a little bit higher than that. That's for sure. And then Google, we got something out at 15 there. It's trying to get higher, but right now, all aboard, all attention right now on NVIDIA for this long. As let's just play the strong names. This is P&L number 3. Apple, Google, we're already in those. We'll see if NVIDIA has the juice now. 240 million shares on the day for NVIDIA. And here goes nothing, man. We'll see if we can get about 50 cents back to the 50 period.
Yeah, 50 is also there. But I'm looking at NVIDIA 115.75 as a local high. I typically like dip buys on breakouts if you can grab them in the afternoon, depending on the stock. But it made this local high break, checked up in the 16 range. I was looking for that, so that's where I'm sitting. Uber continues to fly to the upside a little bit here. And I wanted to get over to Nike because there was a couple people asking about Nike. Nike's falling asleep from where it was this morning, but it did catch a decent bid. If it can break back out this consolidation, it's looking like it's trying to wake itself up for another leg up. Nike was a pure technical break this morning. 75.50 broke out, and then it took 76 even. I missed the $0.50 break, which would have been right here at the open, grabbed the 60s, and then it broke. Now it's continuing to run. So I'm looking over here. Uber is chilling out, like it's making its breakout, but obviously, you know, a 70 break goes, it hasn't really had any kind of a dip. It's not flying around. I got the quarters that I'm going to offer out in front of again. So on that little bit of a push, doesn't even retest that local bottom here just underneath the 71 level. And like you said, be strong, like go long in a strong stock, go short in a weak stock. And when this is happening, I'm just going to show up UVXY. Like you guys can look at the VIX or whatever you decide to, but this just happened on UVXY as it's, you know, there's the flush back in as we make some fresh lows, down 10 points. You get the idea, the market retesting some of those highs. So you want to be in some strong stocks if that's going to be the case. Just going to move my order. If I'm a couple of cents off from the top, just going to move it so I can pick up that fill there on an Uber off the current high of the day. So Tesla is trying to go. Remember we said I almost don't care which way it wants to break out. Break it and then take the next leg. So it broke to the upside. There's a retest on the bid, setting up for a bit of a retrace long back into 207. So there's the concept. You break the channel up. You make a new consolidation level, try to catch it off of the previous high. That way I've got an out here at the 07 level, pretty set up for me. And if it just goes stair step, then I'm just going to give it one step to the next. If 50 holds, I want to get long in the quarters, giving it to that 07. But as I said, that fresh low on UVXY, it's trying to bounce a little bit. That's why I took some out on that Uber trade. But you know, finally going to the upside is Tesla and bread and butter. You keep mentioning about Kit. That's an actual stock. We weren't just talking about Knight Rider randomly, but not moving whatsoever, this KITT. I don't mind pulling it up for you, but no volume on this. I guess they report as well aftermarket. Maybe it'll do something for you. I hope so. It's a fun ticker, but no action, I guess, until they actually report.
No. All right, 164.30 here.
Who was earning?
Yeah, good move on Uber. Okay, that's such a great stock. We definitely like that Uber stock. Now we'll have to wait. 164.40s. That's been the high for this Google. Nvidia's not doing anything. I mean, I may take some out. I don't know. I was going to try to maybe trade some Apple as well, but now I'm just kind of stuck. Not stuck, but I want to see what's going to happen there. All right, let's put an offer here around 164.35. That's been that high rate there. If we can get that tick, we should just be happy with it. If it continues to go fine. Yesterday about this time, we were thinking short on the market, remember? And I like the long, but you have short areas because you can get out at 19, basically at 19.1, right? That high of the day there is 19.090, so give yourselves 10 handles. You're coming into that rate now. For me, I want the long to work out. I mean, I'm long everything. The Starbucks right here is just a short that we already have our target. Maybe we can adjust. Well, our target's still right here anyway, so it hasn't broke. Remember we put 94.11s? Isn't that what we put? Yeah. So that actually hasn't broke. That came up to like 06s, 07s. We're pretty lucky to not have that broken yet there on Starbucks. So that's going to be the only short that we have. And then Nvidia is just kind of like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some out here at 97. Watch. Okay, so there it is. Now I'm going to punch longer if we take 116.11 out. So I'm going to actually put that in now. Get a little bit longer. Let's just be right? I mean, that's what we're going to try to do, is be right on this trade. So there we go. We'll punch that in there. See if we can get that to go. If we go upside, we'll take a little bit more if we're right. So we're going to take some out there. Again, you know, we're playing with shares, so we're going to try to be a little bit more conservative, but not overly. And then if it goes back up to the upside, so I actually took out 30% of what we had left right there virtually for flat. There is a buyer there of 100,000 shares. That's not big enough to do anything right now, but you can see it. If you come over to the screen, there it is. There's the buyer right down there. Ups, there it is. So there's some sellers here as well. So we'll see what happens here with Nvidia, trying to get through this 116. There is that buyer down there at 115.95, but that is not going to affect the stock because it's already done 240 million shares. Just going to rip right through that if there was indeed need for that. What, there it goes. See ya? As if it didn't even exist. So here comes Nvidia. Looks like we did good by getting some out there on the top. Let's not make one decision ruin everything. Nvidia is still a pretty top stock for us right now. Palantir is trying to go. We did not get that fill on Google. It's 10 cents away for us right now.
Yeah, speaking of 10 cents away, I'm going to, instead of just trailing Uber, Rivian, I'm going to get in off this level. Like a lot of times in the afternoon, I'd put a trailing stop, and if it breaks back above, I'd just get out. But I think in this situation, if it's just going to trend down like this, I want to try to short it at 50. And then if I put a trail at 53, like I'll be adding to it here from when we got it at the 60 level, and then just see what happens. You know, so let's see what happens. I mean, if I get the fill, I get the fill. If it comes up, it'll have to pick me up. But I'm not going to short it down here. It's going to sit on the offer. I already have a stop in here at that price. That's one of the cool things about real trading is the use of stop orders. Like I can have that stop look dip by on Nvidia just came in. I can have that stop order already set, and then I can throw my orders, and then I get the fill. I already know I'm protected. It's actually at 54 there, so I am locked and loaded with that. And we have multiple stop orders that we can use. Like you can, there's one that goes directly to like Edge A and sits like market side on the New York servers, all that kind of good stuff. I guess it's New Jersey, not New York. But Nvidia just came back into those 1575 levels. So this was the previous high. That smells really good. You drinking tea?
Earl Grey.
That Earl Grey is like my favorite tea. Anyways, 1575, this prior high here on Nvidia with this 15.5, which is starting to come in rather heavily. Yeah, I guess we wish we had just shorted instantaneously on Rivian, but let's see if we can't pick this one up, hold it into 115.50 as the market is trying to come back in. Did not get that ad on Rivian, unfortunately.
All right, I mean, we bought more dip in here in Nvidia as per the plan. We have also been getting out a little bit here as we go as well. Good, more outs on Palantir. We're losing a little bit of faith in this stock. We now have about 16 to 18% left of what we had on Palantir, so that's going to be better than nothing. So that's pretty good if it does go upside. I mean, we sniffed this one out. We have about 10% left of Google, maybe even less than that. Bunch of outs here as we got into the high of the day. We were trying to get our last out, as we mentioned, that up here at 36. So sometimes it's like get a little fancy with it and it doesn't work out. So we should have just punched all of it out. But there's the pullback. I want to wait on this. I mean, there's the NASDAQ with that fall down off. And remember what I just said. I mean, just not reloaded, rewind it. I just said you could go short here. It was at 80s. Was at 80s, right? And against these 90s, give it to O's. And then you just drip down about 35, 40 handles there. So not bad if you did take that. I did not do it. I don't want to go short today, but that would have been something for all of you that maybe would have wanted to do that. Again, you know, we're trading our own books here. Different targets. For me, for Nvidia is going to be near that 115 area is where we'll try to give it up. If it does fall back into that level, we'll get rid of it at that point. We just had an opportunity to get out for flat there in the 90s or even better than that. For 10 cents, we did not do that. Maybe we will put an offer upside again. We have one at 87 that did not fill, so I guess it did not get that high. All right, let's see what happens here for Nvidia. We're trading the best stocks here, I feel like, so I'm pretty confident in this position right now.
Yeah, this NASDAQ making another another run at this high. This is a 60-minute chart. 15 will look a little bit different, but look at this same high. You keep getting to 1909, tag it, and then pull back. So I think the dip buys have worked out. It's like a timing thing. Like you weren't breaking the high when Uber broke the high, but you were at the top of the NASDAQ when Nvidia broke the high. So like when you're at that high looking for the dip, it doesn't mean it's going to work. That's a good thing to look at. Like taking a breakout necessarily when the NASDAQ's at that level, it won't go. Maybe you want to wait for that little bit of a dip. But as I see this, it was a pretty big volume candle on this break of Uber to go from 01s to essentially 20s, and then that's all you get. So I don't know what's going to happen back at this 71. If we're at 1900 for the NASDAQ and we start to see a bit of a buy step back in there, great. But if this breaks the trend, it's so far disconnected from VWAP, I don't know how much I'm going to like the reload. For Nvidia, in at quarters, going to give it to half, 1-to-1, and then high of the day is going to be the play for me on Nvidia. So as it's trying to crest back up, give it to this level and long it here, and we'll see how far it does want to go. Never really got that fill in Rivian to the south side. Let's see what happens. This market trying to retest some of those highs. Yeah, the VIX, I mean, volatility did catch a little bit of a bounce there, but it didn't actually break the downtrend yet. I'll be watching this. If it breaks that downtrend and starts making some higher lows, then I might back off these longs near the highs.
All right, come on, Nvidia. I'm trying to still get some out at 87s. there as well. If we can always get something out for 10 cents, we always talk about that. And now it's trying to fade back out again. So just missed that. I think it went to 85s or 86s there. I was watching like a hawk thinking, okay, well, at least we'll get this. And then it did not come in. So this is the biggest position right now. So we're going to wait to see what happens with Nvidia here and hopefully get this going the right way, back up through the 80s, through the 90s, and then back up to highs again. So let's see if Nvidia can hold out this little dip down in the market. All right. Yeah, Neil, were you just in Tesla or someone asking that? Here we go. Let's hold on a second. Tesla's not really moving for me, so I would say we just got that bounce again off the 200 period. Okay, Nvidia's coming to the downside, which is fine. We just got some more long. We're long at 78s right now, but again, everybody trading with their own share sizes and things like that. I'm going to take a little bit out if it comes back up into these high 70s again, just to get a little bit out so we don't risk too much here on the downside. We talked about waiting for 50 cents or so. That breakout to the upside there, actually, we got 12s, I think. Yeah, I'll check. I think we got 11s or 12s, or I thought we got 18s. Then we got some out. Remember when we were a little nervous? That seems to be the right play because there's the drop down again. So this is what we're doing right now. Let's just see what winds up happening. Here comes Nvidia again. Waiting for high 70s, get a piece out, take away some pressure now on Nvidia. But so far, so good on a dip buy. Could get sour, so go and see if we can get some out here on Nvidia. Starbucks working, Palantir working, market coming down a bit here. Needs to hold this 19.050, I feel like, guys.
It's trying. I always say keep your losers boring because that's for me. Get in, get out. I'll tell you everything before I get into the trade. And we said Tesla, break this, hold consolidation, long here, stop 07. And so if you see me say that, you know where my stop is going to be. I'm not moving it. I'm not trying to get in down in here and be like, okay, let's go. Now, if it's the whole thesis is if it's going stair step up, I'm going to take the shot on the stair step break. And again, if Tesla, when you get one of the big breakouts, if it wants to go here to there, great. That's what I'm looking at. So each trade is against what would happen if it works versus what happens when it doesn't work or if it doesn't work, right? So each one you've got a grade on. So if I'm risking 25 cents there, I'm playing it to the high of the day, which we said was about $1.25. Up there, and probably every 50 cents I want to take some out there. Rivian did fill, so we've been in Rivian, and then I said, okay, well, if I'm going to trail it out here anyways, let's just add to the short off of resistance and then leave the trail in on Rivian as it tries to go lower. It might go red on the day. We'll see if it does. I mean, I don't know. It's not moving a lot, but when the market's backing off the highs, this is making fresh lows. I'd love to find, if the market were to flush, I'd love to find something that's like this, which would be at VWAP, but I've been scanning. I don't see anything that's giving that VWAP retrace as the market's at the high of the day. You just have a bunch of stuff that's chilling out at the highs that's on my list. I'd love a VWAP retrace if the market were to give it up at these levels.
All right, we're still doing our usual here. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening. Palantir out more there. I'm resting on this Nvidia, but as you can see, this 200 period is kind of what we're thinking about. That's 115.10. So if we're really going to put on a trade of significant value, it's going to have to come down to 115.10. It's going to have to get here. So if it pulls back into that area, then that's when I think we can put on some risk for Nvidia a little more seriously than what we have right now. And we still have, a lot. So let's see what happens here on Nvidia, pulling back in a little bit here. Obviously not turning red on the name or anything, but Nvidia coming back in, trying to watch out for 115 and change. I just want to make sure I don't have too many more bids than before then, which I do not. So we don't have any bids until that 115.20 area. I'm not just going to put it in right now. I have no bids out. So we'll put something in there, 115.20-ish into this area, see if we can grab that. We're going to hold out for Nvidia, see if it dips in. We'd sort of talked about a 50 cent or so pullback. That was something that could be possible. We'll buy a little bit now because it's 50 cents. And then we'll wait for a bigger trade down here into the 20s. So, all right, here we go. I'm talking like this and we're out 10 cents on Nvidia. But again, we're trading all with different share sizes. 10 cents means a little more here for me. So we're going to wait to see. Obviously, we're going to risk on this one. 75s back down to 75 cents worth of risk. Count can hold it. It's all good. We want more down there in the 20s, though. Hands off now until 20s hit. So let's see what happens now.
Yeah, and what's happening now is a bit of a dip. We got that last leg out on, not the last leg, but we got that other leg out in front of 20s on Uber, but it just comes right back in, supports the prior low, but that's a pretty hefty move. This guy needs to hold this 70-90 area on the way back in there, which we're risking too. Sometimes that's how it works. You know, you throw a stop at an even dollar level and it bounces right at that even, it's not an even dollar level, even cent level, like that 70-90. It's making it stand. If it can hold on, not bad for a reload. I don't necessarily love when you get that head and shoulders thing going unless you break back out the other shoulder. So I'm just going to leave the stop in, leave it at that when it comes to Uber. Rivian just tagged. This is now a double bottom here at 1341. So with that, when I zoom out, don't want to have a bid that's sitting right underneath a triple bottom now on Rivian. If it's going to break that triple bottom, like zoom it out a little bit further and say, hey, this is yesterday's low, and just might as well be in front of that instead. So just a bit of an adjustment. If 1340 breaks, it's yesterday's low that I want to be bidding out in front of. So Rivian headed back. It might go red on the day. We'll see. Sebastian asking about ELF. Are they bouncing yet? That's what I want to know. Yeah, it did. Yeah, good day for ELF, sort of. As it made somewhat of a low here. I always say when you have a earnings flush, it's not that you hold a low, it's that you hold a low and break some resistance from prior days, which looks like it would be right around 155 temporarily. So good start for ELF after getting a bit of a dump there on cosmetics. A lot of retail names not being treated well this earnings season, at least not initially. That's why Home Depot, good recovery on Home Depot, but it's a very, very different ball game for Home Depot than it is for ELF. Obviously, as you guys know.
All right. All right, so here comes Nvidia right into our area. Sorry, we're still on Palantir. Did we get a 16 there? Did I put a 16 out? I did, but we're also waiting for some 27s. All right, so here comes Nvidia. Again, we bought some 50s there. We talked about that. Now it's coming into those 20s that we like, so we will wait to see what happens now with Nvidia coming in to these levels. So far, so good. But it's pulling back in, so we'll have to wait. If we get that fill, that'd be great, but watch out for our out. We already have that stock triggered to get out if we break. I mean, there's the 200 period right there. Not super excited about that break, of course, but if it does happen, I mean, we'll take that. We'll take the L. We got to take some L's at some point, right? 115.30. Yeah, so I like that. All right, so we're already in 114 or so. Not really sure the exact price that we'll get stopped out at, but we'll put it out there and see. It'll be a break of that 115. We want to give it a little bit of room for sure, so we'll see where that room takes us. So that's what we're doing right now, giving Nvidia some room, but here comes back into the 20s. We are bidding. Am I still on Nvidia? Yeah. Okay, did we just get that? No, we did not. There we go. Now we do. We get those 22s. So now we're loaded. Now it's fine. So I never really know exactly the average price that we're going to have. Now we're long at 55s. So that's pretty cool. If we want to get some out now as it drops to 35, you take a 20-cent hit or so. Let's just see what happens now with Nvidia. Could have been a nice little bounce spot right there. Let's see. We have it. We're long at 55. Let's see if Nvidia wants to work back up to the upside right now. So here we go again. Should be a fun one. Buckle up. It's Nvidia. It's getting spicy right now, baby. So here we go. Let's see what winds up happening for Nvidia. I laugh, but it's more of a afraid laugh as we keep on going. Downside right now, so a good little reload or a good fill up there at the bottom. We're long at 55s here on Nvidia, looking to get some out at 40 just to stop the bleeding a little bit and then see what happens upside from there. It's Nvidia and it's trying to go.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people in the chat talk about like flash crashes. Yeah, Nvidia popping 40 cents to the downside is not a flash crash. As somebody who was sitting in front of a trading screen during the flash crash, trust me, when you see one, you will know it, and you won't have to ask the question about whether it is or isn't. So 115.50, it did hold for a hot minute. So there, it does not hold here. I really just like this. If it's going to be a bottom, wait for the next big level for a bounce. So risk 25 cents each time. But if it's going to continue to go lower, do not want to fight it. As I said, we'll see what happens if it gets down into that 140, 14.50. That's where the liquidity grab on Bostic was. So if it gets down to that price, that looks pretty solid in there. But I don't know that we'll get there. It's 320 already. Uber's still trying to hold out, but even this is, was at that high, was trying to go back up to that 71 level. There's our blue ocean, which keeps coming up. First thing on our drop down, it just bounced off the 70.90 and then brick wall at 71. So I wanted it back over 71 for a reload. It gets right to 71 and the sellers decide to sell it. Still have the stop at 70, underneath 70.90. Looking for a consolidation break back up over this 71 level. Leave the stop in there and see if we can't get back into the high. It's about 20 cents to the high if we get 01s again, with the stop still sitting at 91. For Uber, Rivian hasn't broken that 1340 yet. It's still hanging out at that low of the day as we speak. So Uber, looking for it to retake 71. If it never does, I don't get back in or add back into this long. If it does, we try to get 1s and 2s back above here. So that's what we're looking at. I see a few people asking about Lumen. I have not looked at Lumen once today for Juan Alejandro, and everyone's saying, is Lumen a good, what's going on day 2, day 3, or secondary bounce, or whatever I guess we're calling this. This was a big time runner, and when it goes 10 cents, it looks okay on a chart there, but when you factor in what stage of the stock is in, it's not looking very good for it. I still think it's in a bottoming pattern where it's trying to find a bottom. I mean, I can guess and say, hey, this looks good on a chart, but it just held that one today. This is the first time it got to 450, and well, it got to 450 and then closed there, and now you're bouncing off 450 today. So if it holds on to this, maybe you do have a second salvo in Lumen, but it's still very much been trending lower highs on that 15-minute chart. So, want to respect that for LUMN. Don't mind these when they bottom out for a little bit, then they get like a little bit of a bounce play as everyone's forgotten about it. Usually more shallow than the original move.
Watch out for secondary moves and things like that. But what's up to Charlie Taft? Bang, and we'll spend the money for you too. Charlie Taft says, just banked another 250 on my Tesla short. That's a good win for my size account. Hey, look, man, that's what we're talking about. It's a good size for many accounts. So do not worry about what you're, we always talk about trading different accounts here on the show as well. So different styles for different size of accounts, and you're doing it for you, Charlie. So congratulations on that one. 250, you can think about it, if you could just extrapolate 250 a day, times 20 trading days, that's $5,000. So that's a decent, little income there for sure. If that's, based on whatever your living expenses are and stuff like that. Especially, I don't know if you're doing it full time or not, but that's good. So take that 250 and, congratulate yourself, because it's hard to make money. So good job there, Charlie. All right, so Google does fade out. We only have a small piece left of that one, so that's not doing anything. Palantir is not doing anything. Starbucks isn't doing anything. Palantir is okay. We've just been getting some outs here. I'm slowly massaging this trade. Obviously just getting pieces out every time it comes to 17 and 18. I now only have basically 10% left, a little north of 10% left, 10% of Google, and a little bit more of that on Starbucks. So we'll just wait, but our Starbucks is falling asleep right now. I guess it does need that little injection, of some sort of caffeine or something. But right there, Starbucks right now, just doing nothing here into the close. We're still giving it to that 94.10 area. Of course, Starbucks was a great stock, just being able to short it and holding for these couple of these bigger moves. But we have stop outs everywhere here. So if you were watching me trade, you can go back and watch it at 9:30, sort of where we started. We started early, but 9:30 was some of those first fills. Then 10 o'clock, we really started to get some levels. Then we broke higher. We do have a stop out there. Then we got back in and started to make it again. So that's what we're working with right now on Starbucks. Great trade early. We're live every single day. Make sure you go double check, triple check that you're subscribed right now. Come on now, Nvidia. Again, this is it. Let's see if we can go. We are long right now at 45. It's at 48s, 47s, 48s, 48s, 49s I'm at. We just got filled a little bit there at 49 as we start to go back up to the upside. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about. If you're trading, you're at real trading, you're looking for bigger winners, you're looking to try to put on a position. I told you we're doing it right here for Nvidia. We're taking 5-10 times the size. So let's see what happens here. If it falls down, it falls down. We're starting to take a little bit more out. Nvidia is still a positive stock for us, despite getting these out. If it can go, it can go. We're trying to give it that one more chance. That's my talk for now. Palantir back up. Good trade there for Palantir, as well as that goes back up to the upside right now. Oh, our Starbucks just got filled. So spin the money there. We are now out of Starbucks. It's a good little level. But let's go now. If we can get Nvidia to the upside, this is why we get excited, guys. I mean, I don't know what else to do. Let's see if we can go. Come on, Nvidia. I mean, it didn't breach our levels. We're trying to get this a little bit back up to the upside while still having some kind of a salvation here on the trade. There it goes now. Nice move upside for Nvidia. We're now up more on Nvidia than we were when we started this trade. So that's how we know it's a good one. Take another piece out here at 57. Next offer, 68s for Nvidia. I guess that's maybe where the 50 period was. It's fallen down a little bit. Here we go. All right, nice trade there. Let's go, man. It's going to be a good one. Let's hope for Nvidia.
Let's see if we can get back going into that upside. I did get back into Uber. I said if it broke 71 up, we'd get back in at that 0102. It broke. I got 2s, not 1s. It got up to where it started to roll over a little bit more quickly here at the 10s. Then you have the high at the 20s. So just kind of getting that 1-to-1 back. And then if it breaks at 90, we're going to jump out of it. We got 5 minutes till those imbalances. The early look on the imbalances come through. There was nothing yesterday. And not to say that that's a predictor of what would happen today, but there weren't any big Nvidia sell imbalances or, usually last week, every single day, as I said, we were getting big ones. If you were watching with myself and Obi, the smallest imbalance on Nvidia was like 3 million shares last week. And it was nothing yesterday's trade. But we just got those 10s out. I might decide if we bounce off 71 again, here, there might be one more shot to reload this for a run at the high of the day, but it has to show me the bounce. Otherwise, no reload on the way back in. Rivian, probably just going to rinse and repeat as it gets back up to 1350. So it went 1349 down to 40, and now it's right back to the 50 level. So if it does a little bit of a curl again, then just get on the offer 48s and see if it doesn't work its way back into the low. If it breaks the high, it breaks the high. And you just kind of let it fly. I'm going to get out if it breaks that local high. Had the stop to trail out of that anyways from the VWAP short. We might as well just add to it if it shows us the weakness one more time here. Chris L., when CPI leaks? CPI comes out tomorrow morning. I don't know that they're leaking anything. You can go tinfoil hat if you want to, which sometimes people do, but my guess is reality is we had a light number here. If it was the only thing I'd be surprised at if it was a very hot number, after what we had today. I think the market would be surprised at a hot number. Everything else, I would think it's just going to be as expected because that's usually what we get.
All right. Not much happening today. Nubank. We'll have Brian Shannon on, so that should be.
Did we have the earnings board?
There are. We can. I don't know if we have the earnings board. We can throw it up. I
was just asking. If there's nothing, there's nothing.
I don't know. There is nothing. But we can. I mean, if there's something we can look at, we can look at that. Maybe something tomorrow morning. All right. Let's go. Come on, Nvidia. Thank you, JJJ, talking about this is real trading. This is sticking to a plan. This is what we're doing. This is what we're trying to do. Looking for opportunities. We don't trade many stocks. I don't. I tell this to my players, right? And it's like, I only really want you swinging 3 or 4 times per at bat. The first pitch, maybe you miss it. The next pitch, you're not missing it. You're going to crank that thing, take a good swing at it, take a cut at your spot. We sat here for Nvidia, man. We knew we wanted this trade. Came in. We did pretty much exactly what we thought we would do. We did get a little too excited, buying too much, probably at the 50-period moving average, but there it comes right into the 200 and bounces right off of our level, and that gave us this better price that we have right now, and that's what's giving me, the feels for a good trade, and we'll just wait to see if it continues that way. We're out of half of the trade now already, so sometimes you can definitely get in trouble if you over leverage your position, but you guys already know that. So, all right, apparently the infamous earnings board is upon us. Let's go. If I get those 62s out right now on Nvidia, there, give it to me. Oh yeah, there it is right now. Nice little out there on Nvidia. Thank you, Ramin, for that. That is near and dear to my heart because that's what trading is all about. All right, Nubank there. It's the SoftBank of South America, we keep calling
Brazil,
it. That goal. Grab your pineapple.
What the heck is that? Copying the McDonald's thing. Arcos
Dorados. That's the Spanish McDonald's.
Okay.
Yep.
The golden arches. Okay, got
I know.
Got you. Cool. I can't see what's in your. I can't see what's in the top right. Obviously.
Yeah, the top right is blocked. UBS. Bang right now. Let's go, Nvidia. Back to regular scheduled programming, please and thank you. Now we're starting to go, man. Now we're starting to get a little hyped up right now. There goes Nvidia, man. Right up to the top of the ladder. One more time. Bang, bang, bang. There you go, Ozan. That's a great trade on Nvidia. I hope you guys stuck to your plan. There it goes, man. Nice trade for that nice upside move. Let's get some more out there at 67. We'll do that. Why not? As we are starting to go now on Nvidia. Too bad we didn't have a little bit more patience, but like I said, we had enough to make this trade work. So there it goes. Pretty good move there for Nvidia. Let's see if we can retake 116 and then, oh no, after that, we'll see where we get. My offer right now is in the 80s.
Yeah, and that's sort of the thing. Know which way you trade. Because for myself, when I'm in Nvidia, like yesterday, it either works right away. I'm in 2 trades in Nvidia that work right away, or they don't. And I said that about Mara as well. Mara yesterday works right away or it doesn't. That short worked instantly. Today, didn't. I'm out for forcing it. In each case, graded against the time that you had the similar trade before. So this one, for me, didn't work out. I'm looking for it to hold. I'm looking for it to hold this level. I'm not looking to get it down in here on that one because it's trend away. Again, like to each their own. Like it goes to 75, you got 60 cents worth of risk. You still have room to get up to that high of the day with 330 hitting. Sorry, I promised I would do this, but we'll go there in a quick second. Nothing really here. BK, nothing. Occidental with a bit of a sell. That was moving around. Oxy was moving around today. That could be worth it. Verizon always pairs off. So early looking bounce is pretty much a nothing burger. Although I'm just going to take a quick look to see where Oxy is. Because I know it's underneath that 60 level where there's been support, let's just call it, on the daily. And I'm asking myself if I want to do it a third time, where I buy it in the 50s. My daily chart's not loading. Where I buy it in the mid 50s and then just play it back into like the high 60s, which has worked before. Let's go over to Adara.
Quite a few names, of course, making these sharp upside moves today, and what's been a generally pretty strong day for the markets. But we do have some names with some catalysts to talk about. One of them is actually a larger move to the downside here in the S&P 500, and that's Baxter. BAX, this is a name in the healthcare segment, down more than 6%, set to divest its kidney care segment here to Carlyle for $3.8 billion, trading lower on that news there for BAX. We have Netflix here up over 2%, near 2.5% to the upside, getting a positive analyst note from JP Morgan, which reiterated an overweight rating and a $750 price target, bullish on its ad price hike and its live sports. Last but not least here, another streaming related name. We have Warner Brothers here, actually up more than 6%. They did get a downgrade here to market before from Bernstein, but they did have this announcement as well with DoorDash that now you have Warner Brothers Discovery Max with ads now included in a Dash Pass membership. So nice look here for WBD with his DASH collaboration here.
Thank you, Adara. And while we were there, we had Palantir ripping again up to these highs. So all the longs starting to really, really come in right now. Yeah, still going, man. Google, we'll wait for Google. I'm going to see if we can get the 50 period. That's 164.10. Let's just put our offer there. Come on now. Let's go, Nvidia. We've got 90s right there on Nvidia. All right, what did I say? 64.10 or so here on that. We'll wait to see if we can get that. There's the trade of the afternoon. I mean, there's been a couple of them, I think. We had Google was a monster trade this afternoon. And then I feel like Nvidia for me was the next one. Huge trade there to the upside, as you guys can clearly see that one. And then Palantir, the hold has been good. I don't know where we're going to go from here. All right, so this is why we get some out of Nvidia, right? So we did have a decent position. We still do. I'm going to put one more piece out here at 80. There it is. We'll get one more fill. Now I feel like we can wait. I mean, I'm at 95s now. And then if we can get that break a little bit higher. We wanted more shares down there. We didn't get exactly everything we wanted, but we tried. And then now we'll go back up to the upside there for NVDA. So, yeah. My son has his own stock. Yeah, he will
Baxter.
One day. He got that for sure. Oh, yeah, Baxter.
Well, Baxter is a
yeah, Baxter's there as well. Thank you to JJJ and all that kind of stuff, right? And so, again, you know, do you guys? That was a great trade there. Thanks for the props on the NVIDIA trade there, Neil. And, you know, it is what it is. This is what we do. It's a bit of big one. We have banger after banger today. Multiple $2 winners. NVIDIA today. Tesla today. Palantir today. Starbucks today. Yeah, it's just, it's going really well, some of these trades. I mean, look at this getting out of Starbucks. You know, another one right there. you know, there'll be, you know, unfortunately, without giving away any names, we'll be hanging around in the 2 spot today. But hold on a second. Somebody else in the building right there. So we'll, you know, we're doing fine, and we're going to congratulate everybody there behind us for what a great day today it's been at the office. So congratulations to everybody trading there today.
Yeah, it's been a hot start to the month, no questions asked.
Yeah, it's been a great start to the month, and like we said, man, which was needed, right? July, and that's what I'm saying. Be confident, right? July, I think there was 2 or 3 positive accounts, and it's great to see that reversal here in August, and that's part of it. Stay positive, man. Stay in that grind. Stay doing what you're doing, and that's what's worked for us. Yeah, so there you go.
Pablo, Brendo's usually right behind us. Maybe someone asks, like, where's Brendo? Adara's doing a fantastic job on the news desk in the afternoons. Brendan's always doing some work in here. My daily chart on Oxy, I just wanted to, it loaded up. There you go. So it did make the bounce off 55 and is holding the higher low, which has generally been the entry for myself the couple of times that I've had this trade. And essentially it made a double bottom here. I think, I don't remember the exact date. It was somewhere in here that I'm pretty sure I picked it up around like $58, and then it went into 68. And again, it's just, you know, solid stock. Every time it bounces off 55, look for it to hold a higher low. So that's what it's doing in this case right now. Like, it just made this 57 bottom. The next step would be holding 57. So if it holds on to this, gives another consolidation, I'd probably just go long at some point at 58, but it takes time for that to set itself up. And it's kind of in the early stages of that move for Occidental. And it's just been something that I, a couple of times, put in for a swing trade. It's on the downward churn, so I want to see it hold that higher low. Probably if it closes above 57 at the end of the week, and I can still pick it up at $58 next week, I'd go long that, stop underneath 55, offer it that $10 higher. So, you know, it's worked a couple of times here. It does take some time, but it's Oxy. It's not like it's not super, super volatile, and that's one of the good things about it. It's not going to run your stop and then gap 10% on you. That's a big deal for me because I'm not much of a swing trader at all. So Uber, we were just able to get a little bit out at that 1-to-1 on the reload, but then it could not hold on to that 90 level. So we're just going to jump out of it. It was a breakout trade through 71. It went 10, it went 20, it then held, it broke back above, it went 10, and then broke down at that 10 level, or 10 cents to the downside. So just going to get out of that trade, looking like it's a bit of a reversal play. I don't mind if it wants to go all the way down in here back into the 60s. There could be a little bit of a late bounce, but it is 337. You're running out of time for something like that. Do want to keep it in the pocket just in case it is there. And we'll see what happens with it. I actually still am going to like Uber for the rest of the week. As long as it's above 60, this is 69 change. So as long as Uber holds on to this prior resistance level on strength, I like this. Like, that's a liquidity grab on Uber. I mean, so many charts look like this, but come on. Like, you break previous support, break down again because everyone was panicking last Monday, and now you're breaking out the top. I feel like this is going to get to that $74 level on Uber. Just want to play the longs until it does.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that. You asked where Brendan was. Brendan's an executive director at Trader TV. So with Adara taking over some of the news there, Brendan hasn't traded in years for Trader TV Live. So he's just doing stuff in the background and making sure that we continue to grow the show and whatnot. So shout out to Brendan. You guys already knew that. So just giving you guys an update on where Brendan's all about, what he's all about right now. I can't do everything. You got to get some work around here. But there it goes. Thanks, Brendan, for all your hard work. And that's why he's there in the morning giving you guys the goods there. And then we have a host in Sharif on the midday, and then Sharif's gone, and then Adara stays with us all day. So, yeah, that's the team, and that's what we do around here, of course. And then we stay late. Neil and I do the market recap show, which has been a lot of fun, of course. Yeah, we'll continue to do that for sure. So here we go. Today we have Brian Shannon coming through. So join me tonight with Brian. It's always a good time every single time he's on. Okay, so just nice little dip down in Nvidia. We sort of talked about what we had left on that position right now. I think now we have about 20 to 25% left of Nvidia as it's coming back down in again. Remember, we do have our stops. I do want to try it one more time, but this push down in the market, it's happening again. I don't mind rinsing and repeating it. We've already taken enough profit, like we said there on Nvidia, but as it drips down, we're starting to lose on this position again. So, you know, you don't want to count all your chickens before they hatch, but I do want to hatch another profitable trade. So I'm going to put another bid into the 20s again down here right now. And it will be about half of the last time we bid down here. So, and the idea there is to not get run over. You don't want to just keep on bidding the same amount of shares, or you want to be able to say, remember, we had that plan the whole time. We were going to buy those 22. So when it fell in, our stock there, we were long at 55. So it's just kind of like back to where we were. We did get to 90. So we had about a 40, 45 cent fill on that, which is close to 1-to-1 for the risk. So not bad, not bad. Like I said, most of the trades you have to put on are going to be instinct and things like that anyways, right? And so you look to try to make the best decisions that you can at the time. And right there, Nvidia, like I said, look, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, you know, hopefully you guys are able to see this, and that's why we talk about what stocks are where and if we're up or down or whatever on some certain names today. That's why it's pretty easy to tell if we're up or down on stuff. Google right now continues to work, but it's not giving me those fills. It's already 340. Didn't even really.
It's really late in the day, and I wanted to look CPDB. The great question in the chat, and you're actually lucky here because lesson on liquidity grab, please. So you're going to hear traders, not just myself, sometimes Sean, sometimes Adara, and Sharif will do it too. We'll say things that make sense to us in terms of lingo, and maybe it doesn't make sense to you. So when I say something like a liquidity grab, if you go back to the midday show, and after the show is done and after the market recap's done, if you want to, check out the midday show. I came on just after 12 o'clock, maybe a couple of minutes after that, and the lesson of the day was specifically on the difference between a liquidity grab and like when you just have like stops getting run. And it's not a huge difference, but you know, not to completely repeat myself when we only have 19 minutes to go in the day, but if you do check out the midday, I do something every single day. And last week, there was even one day where on Tuesday, I think it was, I was asked a question in the chat specifically about something. I'm like, you know what, let's just do the lesson of the day on that tomorrow. And then I explained it the following day. So no problems doing that. If you guys have questions, hit that subscribe so that you can even be in the chat, because it's a subs only chat here at Trader TV. So hit that subscribe, hit that like, and if you want to communicate with us, great. If you want to ask questions, oh yeah, hit that bell because
I think we should do that. I think we should do Neil's lesson of the day on this show where we have more viewers.
I'm down. Yeah, I don't care when we do it. But I prefer doing stuff that you want to hear. Usually, I'll just see something that happened in the morning. I'm like, oh, I learned something on Palantir last week, or I thought of something on Palantir, and then I'll just make that lesson today because it intrigued me, and I learned something myself. But if you guys want the topic, I'll do. And of course, if I don't know anything about it, I'm not going to sit there and pretend. But if I have knowledge about something you're curious about, or like a setup, or just my thoughts on stop using like running stops, like what is that? How can you avoid it? Like those kinds of things, for sure. We can do it anytime. Doesn't matter to me. We don't have Frank anymore. We could do it in the afternoon.
Yeah, I think we should.
But speaking of stops.
Yeah, go ahead.
So our third reload, okay, technically second reload. Our first entry was up here at 65. We reloaded it here a third time at 49s. We just broke the local high, so we risked to this 54 level, broke 53. We got out of this. So I'm now going to be out of Rivian, not going back to this stock. Hopefully it doesn't make this breakdown tomorrow, because it's not in tomorrow. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. Rivian's going to make this flat bottom break tomorrow because I've been looking to fade this into that eventual potential break. I should not say eventual because that presumes that Nvidia or that Rivian is going to flush at some point through this 13 level. But when it does, I would like to be short for this gap fill. Not that I want that to happen. I never cheer for a stock to go down, but when support breaks, generally speaking, you want to be short if you can. Just because we're about to get to the end of the day here, quick note on programming, Alibaba didn't break 81.50. So that's still set up for potential breakout. Clearly this late in the day, I did have a stop order to go long on that break. Just like at the Uber break at 71, I had a stop order to go long if it had happened this afternoon. Alibaba, double top, no breakout, no trade. So this could be another one set up for tomorrow. I put that down on my iPad. Although on my iPad, I just wrote BA. I forgot the B, the second B. I do that and I just kind of leave it. I don't know, this iPad's old as dirt. Mm-hmm. Like it's like that, I don't know, like when the sensitivity, or I don't know what the word is for that, but like it's harder to type on this stupid thing.
All right. Yeah, you got to have that haptic touch, that Midas touch. All right, so we have that touch on trading. You can join my lesson of the day every single day just by watching me trade. We put some lessons on the board today, man. This Google boom, this Nvidia, I mean, that was a good lesson right there. Look at Palantir right there, 40s. We just got 39s right there on Nvidia. So, sorry, on Palantir. Good trading there, good trading on Nvidia. And I think we will see maybe new highs at close here. We only have 15 minutes now. Let's see if we can push those levels. I mean, getting above 19.1. There goes the I mean, so many times we sit here all the time and we wonder about, oh man, the NASDAQ is just getting cranked the last couple of days. But a lot of the time you can get that recovery, and it seems like it's happening today, and it's happening in the best names. It's always wicked, and we talk about watching out for your plan. It's quite obvious what the plans are. We give them for free every single day. So make sure you double check it. The sticky notes out, as well as our daily watch list. You can find some ideas all over there. And we just trade what we, how we say we're going to trade. We put the trades on, we use some size, and we go for it every single day. And then we tell you how it worked out for us, or if it did not, or if it did work out for us. And it's been working out. Yeah, Roblox. We like that stock
Big
too.
day for Roblox.
It is today a big day for Roblox?
No, I meant like it had a big day.
Did it?
Yeah, 4 points today.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we
Yeah.
like Starbucks. I like that name.
Well, it was up way more than that, by the way. Roblox.
Yeah, we were
was,
excited about Starbucks today.
Oh, I thought you said Roblox.
No, he did. He did the Roblox sound effect.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was like, what happened to Roblox?
No, Roblox broke out, but not quite all the way. Because I had this one.
All right.
Okay, this was another stock that I think we went over last week for liquidity grab. Didn't break out the top. So just very quickly, I don't know why I'm rushing this 4 minutes to the imbalances. For some reason, I thought the imbalances were coming out in like 1 minute. And I was going to rush through this and then talk about the imbalances. But no, we're good. So they had the close last Friday. This is a stock that hadn't broken the previous Friday close. Made the liquidity bottom, closed at it was like 39.25. And then today, it finally broke it out. However, lack of continuation. That can be a good thing. The good thing would be hold on to 39 and break it out tomorrow. So consolidate off that previous, whatever you want to call it, like sideways consolidative level. I didn't want to say consolidate off this consolidative level, but that's kind of what I have to say now, because I did. And if you break out that top, plenty of room to the upside. This was a $4 gap that this made on that previous day. So Roblox actually looks really good on a higher time frame to me. Just fail breakout today can always lead to a big breakout if it reclaims a level when everyone forgets about it.
Nvidia's right back to that 116 as we ride that bull continuously up to the upside right now. No positions over there. We got 3 over here: Google, Nvidia, and Palantir. And it's really great to be long on a day like today. We just got that Google out at the 50 period. We'll wait to see if our last bit will get out. Let's just go up here to 2025 and see if something will spin up there and get that out. So again, today, big trades alert, obviously on Google. We talked about that. Just buying these dips all day. So that's what Google looks like for me there today. The P&L number 1 is going to be Apple, and it's just early. It's just real early, man. We have this 220 bid. We busted that. I mean, it takes, we talk about it. If you're going to trade, you might as well trade with some shares. So that was a good trade there, breaking through 220. So that was a great one, up to 221.30. You know, that really made the day. And then 3 reloads. All right. Amazon, down on Amazon. We're down on Amazon about 15% of what we're up on Apple, so that's fine. We tried to short, put on a decent position right there, lost it. That goes to the upside. Google, we've just been talking about it. You're not even going to see an out here that's under any of these bids. Bid. So Google's stock of champions today. Nvidia, I mean, let's just give it up for Nvidia. That was the face slapper there of the afternoon. We lost on Occidental. We tried to short. We actually got some decent shorts. Got stopped out there, back in, then stopped out. But now Occidental's all the way to the downside, so could have done better on that. We just got a 40 on Palantir. I think we sort of beat that one up a little bit. Starbucks, as the imbalances are now only a minute and a half away. Starbucks, we got in trouble early, shorted it late. We'll be down on Starbucks, but it's pretty flat name for us. And then Tesla here as well. Up on Tesla, despite being bearish early and then completely wrong and getting out of the way. And as Neil said, that's how you continuously stay near the top. You know, you got to get out when you're wrong, but then also believe in the trades when you're right. And that's what you do. And then as long as you swing better than 50%, which we do, then you are all good. So, all right, now with only 30 seconds to go, or sorry, a minute to go before the imbalances, Nvidia, I'm going to take one more piece out. I feel like that is the prudent thing to do. I mean, it's 60, 70 cent winner as it is right now. So let's take a little bit of risk off of that. Google, I mean, we could fly up here and get that fill. Bang, right there. That's a hot dog cannon for you right there for Google. So Google, Apple, Nvidia, Palantir, man, they're the darling of today. So Tesla pretty good as well. All right, Neil, 30 seconds left. There goes Nvidia, now dollars. Let's see if we can get break that 116.
Yeah, 15 seconds to go. So this is that moment where, like, if you have stops or you want to take profit, good spot for it. With 10 seconds, there was nothing of significance on the early look for the imbalances, unless you care about Verizon and Pfizer, which just popped up there. But the first thing I'll look for is anything in the Mag 7 at 350, which just hit. Nothing immediately. SWN's not a big deal. Nvidia's a buy of 1.1 million. Not huge, but not small. Marvell is a 1.1 million to the sell side. That would be significant for Marvell. It doesn't do nearly as much volume. So if I was looking at one of these things that might make a move off of that, I would think Marvell could be big. Nothing else significant over a million. Open, yeah, whatever. That's now a $1 stock. So 1 million shares there doesn't matter. So Marvell to sell, Nvidia to buy. And Marvell didn't even budge. Yeah, you know what? A second ago, and I was like, yeah, this looks like it could be a short opportunity on Marvell. No, not really, because 1 million to sell, and it just broke highs. And look at the way that this was rallying. I don't think they've reported just yet, but Marvell, I just following the coattails of the rest of the chip names in StockSell.
All right, so we did really well. I mean, although that imbalance doesn't seem to be too much there, Derek gave us NQ 430 to sell, 670 in total for the whole market, so relatively uneventful, but we do take that opportunity to get out. So we got out of Palantir. We just have little baby pieces left right now. We have, I mean, like I said, baby piece as in relation to the shares that we trade. Could be large for some, small for others. There's Nvidia right here, 115.80. Let's just give it a chance to see if it wants to continue to go up. 116 and change, 116.20 is where I'm sitting right now. I'm trying to get a little greedy, see if we can get that top tick there for Nvidia, but nah, just smile about it. We only have a few minutes left. Let's put an offer in the 80s, see if we can make 50 cents again. Palantir, we can get another piece out here if we want at 34. Maybe we'll, there we go, we'll just try. Did we get Nvidia there or Palantir? Nvidia's, oh no, that's one, sorry, that's Google. What am I doing? Oh, so Google filled us out there as well, so that was a good fill. There's, okay, so it was Nvidia. So there's Nvidia there at 83s. All right, now we can really just sit back and relax. We will finish at the highest spot that we were at all day. So pretty good there. What a good trade into the close, right? I mean, Palantir, that was fantastic. We took this right with you guys at 30 bucks. This is right when we went right back on the air at 220. So that was a trade that we took there. I'll just go over the trades that we took for you right now on the show. We took Nvidia long. I mean, that's a face slapper there. We took Palantir long. We took Google long. I mean, this is when we came on, right? There's 2 o'clock, 163.70, 163.50, outs 164.26. That's it. We don't have anything else. We got out of everything else. So that's it, man. We have 3 trades for you. We'll go 3 for 3 this afternoon, which ain't bad at all. So yeah. Good on us. Neil, enjoy your day tomorrow, of course, as you meet.
Well, I probably won't enjoy it. It's like, so what they do is after the surgery on my Achilles, like they have to get the angle different. So like you start out like with like this kind of an angle, so it has to flex down, and then eventually I went to this, and then you're gonna have to force it to a 90-degree angle, then cast it, which is it's not a comfortable experience. And then for a couple of days, it's kind of really sore and swells and all that stuff. But then, if all goes well, I'll be in an air cast in 2 weeks from now.
There we go.
That's all I care about, man. Get me on the rehab schedule because I like attacking rehab. I've done it before, but the waiting is the most annoying thing ever. There was a few questions about the imbalances I wanted to get to because I saw a bunch of people. We gave you the total number in there, and here it was. It was like, what size is that? Roughly 500K. So if you look at just any one of these numbers, you want to know how much money that is? Okay, it's a number of shares in the imbalance, and then just multiply it by the actual price for the notional value. That gives you an idea of how many dollars there is. So Nvidia, $2 million to buy is vastly different than Marvell, $1 million, because Nvidia is a more expensive stock, right? So if it's twice as expensive a stock, which it really isn't, and it's got twice as big, it's 3 to 4 times a bigger notional number. And that's what matters overall. How big is it relative to the amount of volume it does? How big is it relative to, I guess, like the market cap of the company? And that's a bigger deal. And then what imbalances? Simply the NASDAQ in New York closing auction imbalances. Published at 350. We get an early look. That's what this number will be, BRKR, on our locator. And then you can see how much open interest is there. It's paired off. And then how it's the size of the imbalance. If they had to close it and do the auction right now, then TLT would have, well, let's do TLT here because it's there, 1.9 million to the sell side. That never moves, by the way. I've looked at it. No matter how big the imbalance, it's just never that big of a move. And SW, I don't know. Nvidia is now 4.5 million to buy, so that's growing to the upside. That's not usually the case. Usually you pair off a little bit, but 355 is about to hit, so let's just keep it here. A lot of times it's a major pairing event. It started at 1, went to 2, now it's 4 million, and at 355, we'll see if it manages to stay here. Any second, you'll see that update. So it just paired down to 1 million. So there you go, 355, usually a big pairing event. And Nvidia didn't really do much with it. It got up to 16. Now it's starting to head back in a little bit. That's why at 55, you'll see traders tighten stops or maybe take profit going into it.
Yeah, we're just still watching. I was waiting for 116.20s or so. Right now on Nvidia, it doesn't seem like it wants to do too much here. 116.50 coming through for Nvidia. But I was just looking back too. We were thinking about Nvidia. Like, we had just bought this stock at like 103, 104 before we left. And now it's had a nice move back up, man, like 13, 14% from those bottoms. Obviously, it got a lot lower there during Monday. We were not here when it went into 94, 95, or whatever that was down there. But wow, what a great opportunity that turned out to have been to buy some of the bottoms in some of these names. I see you, Adam. Thank you again for the meetup there. And yeah, he's seeing a lot of good trades since we've been back from London. That happened last time, man. We went on a little vacation there early July. We came back and put up the best month. And we're going to try to do that again here in August. You know, it doesn't matter the amount of days that you miss, as long as you come back feeling pretty good and refreshed, and you can hit any stock you want. So that's what we've been doing today with Nvidia. And again, it's just, honestly, Adam, you and I talked about this. It's quite simple for me. It's do the work, understand your abilities, and go for it. And it's been working. So we just continue to do that. I want to thank everybody for continuously watching the show as we keep talking about it. 357 right now. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the share button as well. There goes Nvidia. Come on. We're waiting north side of 116. I might even just hold this into the aftermarket. I feel like I can get this, Phil. 116.20. We'll see if we can get that. I might just get out of Palantir here. It's had a nice move, obviously, there to the upside as there it goes. We get out at 34s as it rips through to 35. So good trading there on Palantir. It is another one. So that was a good one there. And we'll not take this call after. We don't have time right now. Kathy, we'll talk about that after. But there goes Nvidia here. Looks like it is going to be $1 to end the day on that one. That's the club that we're trying to join. It's the Dollar Club, and it's been a good day, man. Congratulations, as we said, to Max and some of the guys behind us. Been a good day here today. So 357 and change. Tomorrow's CPI number. I guess I'll be here with Obi. I haven't seen Obi all week, so he's just taking some of that cash and relaxing. So we'll see him later tomorrow. So that should be fun to have some Obi action right there.
Yeah, he's taking a couple days, I guess.
Who knows?
Yeah, which I mean, is what it is. Like you take time here or there. I mean, I'm basically taking all my days when I have doctor stuff, but it is what it is. With only 2 minutes to go, I saw someone in the chat. Even Intel's up 5%. I'm going to make a point about this. When stocks get bled, remember it's easy to put up big percentage gains when a stock has been crushed, right? So yeah, 5% now is early in the year is 2% on Intel. So everything is going to be a little bit more volatile down here on Intel. It's not even breaking out yet. And don't get me wrong, I actually like a potential break here on Intel if it can do it with only 2 minutes to go. And what I mean by that is, there's your bottom. It's holding 19. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Look at this trend break. When this broke the support of the 50 and the 200 period at 30, I mean, it is what it is. Now you have this 20 and a half, maybe even 21. If it can take that out, is it getting back to 30? Who cares? I mean, you just have an opportunity for a bit of a break that you can join. So I think that's the case with Intel. It's just catching it's catching a moment. JJJ, Intel is catching meme momentum on Wall Street bets. It'll be the new GME. If that makes Intel go up, great. But I don't think that's necessarily a good thing if you're turning into a meme stock, Intel. I would almost wager that's a bit of a bad thing because that means you can only go up when you're pumped and hyped, and you have no other chance of going up otherwise. So I don't necessarily think that's the best thing if Intel. I'm just reading what I saw in the chat there. JJJ, I have no idea if that's actually true. I'll check Wall Street Bets maybe after the market closes and see if they actually care about Intel. Because you can always see like the highest chatted symbols. It's always pretty interesting. But if that's why it's bouncing, who cares? If it breaks 21, it's got a bit of a gap fill. 30 seconds to go in here. Again, the markets did pair off a little bit, but you are going to close on those highs up 2.5%. Crazy, crazy moves to the upside. Lots of top breaks in there. Buy and balance on Nvidia after sells all last week. We'll see what happens going into the last 10 seconds of the day. You're running the highs. You're trying to get to the highs. The fresh high would be, 5 cents. It just ticked the high and pulled right back in there on Nvidia. Let's ring it in 2 and 1, Adara. So close. It actually literally ticked the high of the day and a bit of a pullback. I see some sellers in there. 4 o'clock just hit 2.5% for the NASDAQ. ES still holding the highs, almost at 54.6 level, 1.6% up there on the ES. Big time recovery still ongoing for the second week in a row in the overall market. So those dip buys were absolutely fantastic if you were able to get them. Shout out to Fabian and Ramin like we always do at this time on the ones and twos, making us look and sound a little better than we should. And of course, midday, great job with Sharif and Adara giving you those lessons. Always fantastic. And big shout out, of course, to our entire trading community. We love all of you. But you know what? You don't have to go anywhere because you've got not just Adara and Sean at the desk, but yeah, you got Brian Shannon as the guest because it's Tuesday. So you get some VWAP action, some anchored VWAP action, some earnings to get to, although the biggies are going to be a little bit later on the week with Walmart. So get onto the desk. You don't have to go anywhere. Just stick right here, and you're going to be thrown to the aftermarket show with Sean Adara and special guest Brian Shannon.
What's up, everybody? How's it going, Adara?
I'm great. How are you?
The best. All right. I mean, we just nailed it right there. Just ho-humming that trade on Nvidia for $1 at the end of the day. We get that fill. We get that print there right at the end of 116.22s. We were sitting right there and grabbed it. That was your dollar winner at the end of the day. What a day it was for the NASDAQ again. And what a day it was for traders, man. A couple traders positive on the floor today. We're glad to be one of those. Good job today for many of you guys out there as well. It's always nice when the market kind of trends one way. And today it definitely trended to the high side, especially if you trade the right names. You don't need to trade over and over again. Just trade the right names, trade the right spots. And today, SMH up 4%. We just talked about Intel going meme crazy. I think that's great for Intel. I know Neil said that makes sense why you want it to go up based on fundamentals, but we'll take anything right now. I'm not in Intel, but that's a nice move. We'll find out what that's all about. I feel like it's just been beat up so much. I don't think it's going to go meme crazy because 2.2%, but it's always nice to get volume back into this name. So we'll watch out for some Intel. I don't know. You're not in any Intel, are you?
No.
Oh, that was you were giving a nice little nasty look there at Intel. All right, that's that. Yesterday we talked a little bit about uranium, but today it's energy. Was to the downside. USO, only red sectors today. USO, XLE, OIH, XOP, UNG, silver. So again, in big tech days, we do get pullbacks. Look at UNG today, falling out, right? So there it comes. Nice little 1 minute chart for UNG finishing near its lows of the day. But other than that, there is not too much to worry about. USO, again, we'll go to a daily chart just so you can see sort of how dramatic it was. It's still up here. You get basically 5 straight up days today. Now oil pulling back in just a wee bit, but what a big day it was, man. The NASDAQ, as Neil mentioned there at the end, I thought I heard him say closing near the highs, 2.41%. And I guess we actually called that. We said, let's see if the NASDAQ can finish at the highs. That's why we had that Nvidia print up. And then Palantir, what a day it was for Palantir again. Put up the bangs for that, man. We are super excited about this stock. This has been a good one in our portfolio and a good one to have dip bought as if that day actually happened. Oh, man. Probably just walking around London there, ho-humming it, you know, grabbing some tea, and then boom, right to the upside. Now $30 and change for Palantir. What a good trade that was today. This is what we did on this name today. We bought this down here in $30 range. Nice move up to the upside there to close where we did. Yeah, thanks. That was a good one. All right, what else you want to talk about? We had Home Depot battle back today. Nice move for Home Depot closing. I don't know why. I got to zoom out a little bit better on this chart, that's for sure, so we can get a little bit of a better look. So let me just do a 5-minute chart maybe for this. We don't have too many earnings. We have Nubank. Did that come through yet?
No, we were
Okay, so we'll wait for
expecting NU at 410.
410.
Yeah.
That was a 4 and then a 1 and a 0?
Yeah, I was trying to like write it out.
We're trying to do 1600?
It was something. I was doing something. It is at 410, expected move of 7.1%.
Here we go. We'll wait for Nubank coming through. I think it's New Holdings, I think.
New Holdings.
All right, so there it is. Home Depot, though. Talking about a little bit of earnings here. You know, we see that there's a strong consumer. Seems like it. Starbucks, of course, a little bit of a rescheduling today with Brian Nickel coming through here. And it is SBUX. We're really happy about this name. I've probably talked to Brian about this many times, but very, very hard to predict a new incoming CEO, especially a CEO of such prominence like Nickel, because, I mean, what he did to CMG, minted millionaires over and over.
Yeah.
I mean, you see CMG stock. Here's CMG stock. Let me just go over to a daily chart. It's not going to do it justice, of course. So we're going to go over to a monthly chart of Chipotle. So this is $4, Adara, back in 2018. So that's 6 years ago. We went from $4 all the way to $63 there for CMG Chipotle. Nice little pullback though right now, as we do have a little bit of worries there with various issues with the retail sectors. Here's the monthly chart for Starbucks. You could see very, I mean, not similar, but Starbucks back in 2018 was $50 all the way up to $120, and now back into 70, back to 96. So kind of round tripping back there on the monthly at the 50 period moving average there for Starbucks. So a nice little move there coming in. There's the daily for Starbucks. Nice trigger upside on SBUX. XLK, of course, up 3% today as we go. Let's have a quick look at some of the stocks as well. You know, we'll get.
We got NU just.
Do we have NU? Okay, let's let me just call it up.
Early.
Yeah, hold on a second, Adara. Let me just look at the stock, see what NU is doing. So this is New Holdings. So a nice move off $10, making its way all the way up. And as I can see, Adara, it looks like it wants to go. So this is on the monthly. It is a relatively new stock. And boom goes a dynamite for New. Right now up 7%. Adara, drop that knowledge.
Yeah, so they reported Q2 revenue here, $2.8 billion. Analysts were looking for $2.92 billion. So slight miss for revenue. They did report Q2 adjusted net profit above expectations. So I had it as an earnings per share basis, but on an adjusted net profit basis, they did beat estimates. $563 million versus the analyst estimate of $472.5 million. That is actually more than doubling here for adjusted profit. So adjusted profit more than doubled for NU. They also reported Q2 return on equity of 28%. If I see any other numbers coming through for them, I will let you guys know.
Wow. Thanks, Adara. I'm sort of saying this because, wow, what a successful little run here for New. I mean, just looking at what this chart looks like here as we zoom in and out, coming to market in and around $8 or $9 there back in 2021, does fall in and gets pretty disastrous down here at 350. But look at the touches down here at 350 before now blowing back upside. Nice trade. I actually own this stock. So good little move there for New Holdings back up there to the upside. And I remember Warren Buffett was involved in this in the beginning when this did come out. So, but then of course dropped it off, and now a nice upside move. Another name that has been a piece of you-know-what for me, PaySafe. We've actually talked about this. I actually like this name. PaySafe was involved with a lot of those online casinos and accepting payment on that. They had not had a good day. Well, they had a great day today, up 6%, but PaySafe definitely beat up. We have seen a nice little resurgence in some of the fintech names. So PaySafe with a nice move up here, trying to get going again. This had a reverse split of 1 to 12 recently, so that's a name that's been pretty killed recently as well. PayPal trying to get going. I actually do not mind the stock of PayPal right here. I feel like it's in no man's land right now. We'll see if we can get going. I mean, Brian's gonna come on when you look at a stock like PayPal. I mean, if you drop an anchor at this November, October bottom, You're right here at $60-61. So I feel like that's a good hold spot there for PayPal. We also do have Square. Are you chomping at the bit over there, Dara, for anything?
No, I was going to say Brian posted about PayPal earlier this week.
Oh, did he?
So that's why I
Okay.
mentioned it. Yeah, he compared that one to Celsius Holdings in terms of how they were holding AVWAP. Don't remember the exact tweet, but yeah, I know there was some AVWAP comparison there for YPL. So that's the only reason I just thought of that.
No, great look there. SECEL.
Yeah, he was not a fan of what CELH was doing at AVWAP. Pretty weak.
Yeah, I am. Here's Celsius. Aren't they the drink?
They're the energy drink. They're not
Right.
bad. They're not bad.
They're not bad. I know. I've never
As
really
an
had any energy drinks. You know, when I was at We1, we used to drop those vodka Red Bulls when we didn't know any better.
Yeah, that's a...
Man, those days back in the club, baby. One of our friends, tearing off his shirt, whipping it around. Like, I hang out with a bunch of idiots, trust me. These are in downtown Toronto clubs.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
I was actually in a little bit of, maybe I should say it, but pretty much was a bar fight. One of my friends got crazy down there by the docks, and it was a lot of fun right now. But
that's such a Toronto story. Like every aspect of the last minute.
Things were thrown into the lake. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, Rebel, that in and around that area. Clubs have changed names all the time.
Yeah,
around here.
And I'm still sure it was. Yeah, I think Fabi is right on that.
I actually want to go to the docks. The docks actually has a really nice driving range. My brother-in-law is coming. You get the booze on there. It's right on the water. Driving range time.
That's very cool.
My daughter has hockey tonight. So we're going to go see 2 hockey. Yesterday was baseball. Ask us if we won.
Did you win?
12-2.
Okay, so you destroyed them. Nice job.
We're not.
Congrats.
I was getting mad at them actually at the end of the game. They were a little bit of showmanship.
Oh, they got a little.
They were stealing bases.
They
were just, things were becoming easy for them. Let's leave it at that.
They weren't getting challenged. Okay.
So I did not give a player of the game.
Go coaching.
But it was my daughter's birthday. We had cupcakes. We had lots of that kind of stuff. All right, what's up, Derek Thompson? No, I'm not losing weight, but thanks for asking. Right there, I'm having a flashback. Yeah, save me. Save me. Where's that Mind Med stuff? Okay, all right, let's go. We're still waiting for Brian Shannon coming through. It's 4:10 right now. All right, let's talk about I hope that you guys are having fun. Hopefully this is what I bring to the show. Again, I hope you missed me last week because I missed you guys last week for sure. Okay, let's do a little recap here and go over to the screen. Let's go over to the screen. All right, here's Apple. Today's market was a monster. Look at this guy right here. It's Nvidia. Tuesday provided another exciting day for the markets with the NASDAQ gaining more than 2% and closing at its highs. The S&P 500 was not too much of a lagger, up more than 1%. The rally really took off at 8:30 with many of the tech names starting to bump up on a strong PPI number, lower than expected 2.2. So cooler number, creating this bounce as maybe inflation finally under control. We did get that huge announcement where Chipotle CEO Brian Nichols said, see ya, and goes over to Starbucks. So where is Starbucks on here? I have no idea. We'll find it eventually. Look at Tesla right down there, up 5.24%. That stock started to go as we saw some good strength in the consumer discretionary sector with Tesla, Amazon, Home Depot, also big reports today. So it was a good one, man. Even some of the banks, BAC up 0.7, JP Morgan up 0.85. Brendo gave us the goods early, Adara, as you remember. We are now definitely getting that rate cut in September. Is it going to be half or is it going to be a quarter point? Give me the Adara LePage analysis or opinion on what that cut looks like.
So the Adara LePage take is that we do have some more hawkish Feds. Like, for example, we've got Feds Bowman, who's generally more hawkish, actually saying that there could be a hike, but that doesn't mean there necessarily will be a hike or that we need a hike. We also had Fed's Bostic, who's generally, I would see him as more hawkish, but I know some people see him as more dovish. He also had some comments that had the market a bit concerned. So I think the Feds are kind of trying to intentionally mask their opinions a little bit. I think I'll have a better sense after the Jackson Hole Summit or Symposium next week. But right now, I would say 25 points until what we see next week. Then I'll have a better read.
And you guys can catch more of that analysis on your review, your weekly review, dropping
the week ahead.
Sundays, isn't it?
Yes, it's drops on Sundays, and I have written the script, and there is going to be a lot of Jackson Hole Symposium focus in that week ahead.
Boom, there we go. Thank you, Miss Adara, for all of that. And yeah, what a good day it was. Let's just check back in on new holdings right now. Oops, I typed it on our little chat, not on the screen. There's new, whoa, okay, Adara, we are still going higher in 1 second. Let's review those numbers one more time as people are looking for new holdings. We'll figure out those numbers. Adara will drop those for you as we're taking out 1375. And as you can see here on the daily, We're over. We are now, that's the breakout. Why didn't I even notice that? Here it is on the daily. We have now broken out brand new 52-week highs.
Yeah.
Brand Nubian. You know that band?
Ew.
No, it's all good. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, he's a little bit of hip hop there. 1365 taking out Adair. Let's review those numbers one more time.
Yeah, apparently some people want to see Serve as well. So that's Serve Robotics. We can look at that. But new holdings, they did have a miss here for revenue, $2.8 billion in Q2 net revenue versus estimates of $2.92 billion. However, they did report a Q2 return on equity of 28%, and they also reported stronger than expected net profit, $563 million versus analyst estimates of $472.5 million. That profit actually more than doubled for Q2. Also, let me take a look at Serve here because there were some. Serve as well was interesting because that was one Nvidia invested in recently, so they've been on watch. All I'm seeing right now for Serve is that they announced the results. I'm not seeing what those results. Okay, here we just got those here. I had to cross-reference some platforms. They missed on earnings per share. They lost 27 cents per share. Analysts were looking for a loss of 25 cents per share. Sales, though, did beat $468,000 here versus the estimates of $400,000. So nice little beat here for sales, miss here in terms of earnings per share for SERV.
All right, unfortunately, Serve Robotics, they did have some deals there with Nvidia and things like that, some rumors of buying some shares. Go do your own look up right there. But Serve on the screen right now, flat. So not much happening right there. I see Brian is right now getting ready to get rocking and rolling in the green room. I just want to bring up to him that there's some traders looking for new holdings right now. It just took out its 52-week high today. So we kind of like breakouts. Not super clean. I mean, I like that move up. It's so hard to look at this, and maybe I should just start talking to Brian immediately because it's hard to look at what we saw last Monday. We weren't here, of course. And unless you were sitting there with some of these bids, it's hard to say like, oh man, like that was a great buying opportunity. I mean, I feel like every single stock you're ever going to look at when we look back is going to be that buying opportunity. I mean, Nvidia went down to $92, closing today at 116 and up to 116.50 already as that retraced back up. The one sort of buy opportunity that I feel I would have pulled the trigger on, we were looking for Uber. Uber fell in. We knew we liked some of these levels. That level down there at $55, not that that was significant, but we know we like Uber back up to the upside. And then, of course, one of my favorite stocks, Palantir. And you guys put in the chat right now, what stock do you wish you would have got on a dip that day I guess for more of a longer term hold, because any trade at this point, Adara, is worthy of a swing trade. I mean, if you were able to get filled anywhere a week ago and you wake up now and you're 30% in the money, you're doing pretty good right there. But there's Palantir. The best part about Palantir is, look where it bounces off of. We might not be no chartered market technician, but you can see this right here, 2150. That's a 200 period moving average. And what I know on my simple mind, I like 50 periods, I like 200 periods. And one man who definitely does not have a simple mind, I can ask him. I mean, I think, you know what? You can have a simple mind, but a focused mind.
That's true. Like, you can focus like one track mind.
What? Yeah, do you want to have a one-track mind?
If you're like really focused.
Is that a New Kids on the Block song? I don't know.
I wasn't meaning it as an insult, but
oh no, neither am I.
Yeah, it's like you like when you've got a goal, you're goal-oriented, one-track minded.
It's Trader Talk. It's Brian. Hey, Mr. Shannon, how are you doing, my friend? It's been a long time.
It has. How was your vacation, Sean?
Oh, it was such a great vacation. Thank you for asking. And then one thing, have you been to London, England before?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, so the one thing that I didn't realize, I should have, my wife was doing all the planning, everything's so close. So it's like you're at Buckingham Palace, you're turning around, you're at Parliament there, then the next thing you know, you're on Oxford, and then you're on the Thames. It's a gorgeous city. I definitely enjoyed my time there. How about yourself?
Yeah, a lot to do. It is fun. It's a great place to visit.
You know what I was thinking about, and I think you and I have talked about this before, buying things that we actually use. Oh, Canada. Why don't I have my Canada thing here? Is that a golf? Is that golfing? You came up here, hit some links there?
That was a golf tournament here in Denver.
Okay.
I participated in. I just found this shirt the other day and it said, I got to represent.
Yes. We got a lot of Canada. We got the Maple Leafs hat with the Maple Leaf there in the middle. Sorry, the Blue Jays hat with the Maple Leaf there in the middle. I saw Uber. So what we were doing on the Thames there, they have these little Uber boats that you could just even go on the app, buy your tickets. It drops you off at every port. The ports are like couple minutes away from each other. It was a great way to experience, all of that. I like that kind of stuff, looking for different opportunities, different business models. I want to talk to you a little bit about Uber. We just said what an opportunity it was to buy some of these names. If we come over to my chart, Uber's been looking bad. I think if we could erase some of this, we might not like the stock as much. But how much of this kind of a rally in names like Uber, names like Palantir, maybe we're getting too stretched off some of those bottoms?
Yeah, we're up, about 27%. And if you put an anchor on the gap up in February, we're right up against that. So here's what I'm talking about on that daily chart is this gap here. And we've had a little bit of trouble with that previously, and we're right up against it after a 27% rally. I think, there's no way I would be a buyer of it here, Sean, but right. If it was to pull back and carve out a higher low and then start to come back up this side, then I think it'd be ready for a push beyond this band of resistance, maybe create a little, inverted head and shoulders pattern in there.
I was actually going to ask you, similar to what you were just mentioning there, what do we look for? And you just said we wouldn't buy it up here. At what levels? Like, I feel like all of these names, we can call up any chart. We talked about Palantir there, Uber, Nvidia, a lot of this. I feel like the market, when you have these blips up and down 2 or 3%, like every single day, it seems like nowadays, and especially off of this move with Nvidia as well. Many names look like this, SMCI. It just goes on Tesla, even some of these bottoms being made. The market's not healthy right now, is it? Any opinions on when we get the fever like spiking, then coming back down? I'm not super convinced that we're in basically what section are we in? What phase of distribution are we in? What do you think about this current market right here as we sit on Tuesday?
I think it's tricky, Sean. It's been tricky for the last week. Yeah, we're in a big uptrend. As I pointed out on a chart on Friday, we had some gigantic pullbacks too. I think this was 3.7%, maybe 4% on that pullback last week into Wednesday. But on this daily time frame, we came right down to the year-to-date anchored VWAP. Get a bang for that. And the volume right now, we saw expanding volume on the downside, biggest volume at the turning point, and diminished volume on the retracement. Now, that's a reason for concern, the diminished volume, because it says, hey, maybe we're just floating up on an absence of supply and some short covering. But you look at the shorter term time frame, we're still rallying higher. So we've got mixed messages. We're at potential area of supply with this prior support in here, the 50-day moving average, the year-to-date anchor, the anchor off the peak, but we're still showing higher highs and higher lows. So if it starts to distribute like this and then decline below that 5-day moving average, then I'll turn bearish again. But right now, I'm more focused on the individual names that are not extended.
Okay, that's what we were talking about yesterday with Michael Knotts as well, looking for names that are potentially even not participating in some of these market rallies and maybe being held back and or vice versa. Before we go, I want to give you some credit here again. So I'll give you another bang for what I'm about to show right here. I thought this was pretty funny. This is a tweet that you had back May 6th of 2022. And it's pretty simple here. Goofy. Hey kids, don't buy stocks in downtrends. You nailed this and you sort of put it down here, 111 for Disney. And then as we come here, so great tweet there. Go follow at Alpha Trends. We definitely like that one. But I think it's happening all over again, right? This kind of looks like that same chart that you tweeted out back in 2020 where we sort of had these highs, then we just kept on falling. Now fast forward 2 years, Brian, and it almost looks the exact same as Disney's falling down. Are we catching knives here at $80 or do I have to start putting some anchors somewhere? Because I feel like we're well under everything right now. And honestly, as a shareholder, I ain't going to Disney anytime soon unless they're giving some kind of refunds because right now the stock continues to fall.
Sean, you've got to go back to 2009 on a weekly chart.
That's bad.
And we're below that anchor. So, it's just been a dog basically for, quite a long time. Let me pull that weekly chart up and show you what I mean is that if we go back all the way to 2009, the average long is losing money. So I don't know. I think you just leave Disney alone. There's so many stocks that are in uptrends, entering uptrends. Why not focus on the ones where you have a chance of participating with some institutional support? Stocks like AVTR. Here's one that, look at the weekly chart on this one. It's just entering maybe a stage 2 uptrend. Keep an eye on that one. TMO was or TM, that's NO, that's why. TMO is breaking past this is a weekly chart, multi-year level of resistance after it digested this big move. So maybe it's getting ready for another big push. CWAN reported earnings recently, and it's looking like, this is the type of stock that could continue. I'm back in TGTX after the earnings report last week. That one's on its way. So there's still a lot of good stuff out there, but be prepared with potential shorts as well, like GIII. If this one breaks down like this, I'm looking to get short this stock because it's rolling over. It's below a 20, 50, 200-day moving average. It's always about the action in the individual names as much as we talk about the indexes.
There we go. We hit those little calculation things, man. You're just dropping the knowledge down for everybody, giving a lot of different trade opportunities there. Thank you so much for Mr. Brian Shannon. One last question, then I'm going to throw it over to Adara. You just talked about a stock of Disney that's really looking sick from all the way to 2009. Is this one better or not? Intel. This is 2009. Yeah, so that's $17, $18 with no dividend really to speak of right now. This stock, I don't know, Brian. I mean, it's a little bit of a comeback here. I don't want to call it a comeback by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe this is a daily chart here, and sure, we're picking at straws now. But when you see something like this, I actually almost think that this is worth a little bit of risk to reward here, because what about a break somewhere around 2050? And I know we can't really put too much view up on this unless we go maybe into a 20-minute or something like that. Give me an idea here. I almost want to go long. I want to make America great again. We know that the foundry is going to be built here. We talked about some of the risk and Nvidia chips going over to China, Huawei, so on and so forth, with President Trump and Kamala Harris looking to be neck and neck on what's going to be an exciting election cycle coming through, I feel like. What about Intel? Am I looking a little crazy here to go long on basically a 21 break, kind of breaking these highs and then using this 19 as a bottom? What does the risk to reward look like on this stock? And maybe what time frame chart would you be looking at to make a long swing play on Intel?
Okay, let's give you a little bit of hope by going back to 1984 when this company came public. So we're talking about a 30-year anchor. And this is the anchor from the IPO right here. And you can see this stock held it pretty much all the way. Little shakeout there, but here we are right on it right now, Sean. So maybe there's something to that. I don't know. I've never really studied 30-year anchors before. We're back above a rising 5-day moving average. I think if you want to take a shot down here with a stop below these lows, it's, you could do worse, I think.
Hi, Brian. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And we also had another Brian on watch today, Brian Nickel, with regards to that Chipotle, CMG, and Starbucks CEO switch up. Both of those stocks making pretty big moves on that news. Starbucks up more than 20%, CMG at one point down about 10%. Do you have any opinions on either of these after this move and this announcement today?
Yeah, I think Sean owns that for his investment portfolio, he told me a couple weeks ago. But, this one's back above the anchored VWAP from the all-time high. The problem with, chasing Starbucks here after a 25% move, maybe in the next week or 2 weeks, it starts to settle down a little bit. But, CMG, on the other hand, has been a real dog since the split, the 51-for-1 split, which came at a price-adjusted share here of about $63 per share. We came down to the anchor from this gap. That's the second time that's been tested. So I would say that, maybe you drift a little bit lower, that 5-day moving average flats out in the next week or so to get long CMG as a counter trend move with a stop below these lows, that maybe this one has the possibility of bouncing. CMG, that is.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for going over that with us. I appreciate it.
We do like that CMG trade. And yeah, Brian, you know that we were talking about it, Starbucks, and thanks for bringing it up one more time. I want to get credit. I'm going to give you credit, for that 30-year anchor. Some people in the chat are like, oh my God, I can't believe we have to go back 30 years to find an anchor on that. But that, you know what? Hey, man, we'll back test it. We'll see. And you know what? That's another point here. We talk about this with you, Maximum Trading Gains with Anchored VWAP. This is your book. You can go find it on Amazon. And you do talk all about that. Look for prices for decision making around anchored VWAP and certain technical spots. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's an all-in buy or anything like that. Try to check the action in and around those spots. I'm not sure I read anything about a 30-year in here, Brian, but maybe we can add an amendment or your next book coming out. Any work on anything you're doing right now, Brian?
No, I'm still recovering from that one, Sean. I'm not a natural born writer here.
I could have fooled me. Looks great. Your wife helped you on some of this, if I'm not correct.
She did a tremendous job of helping it become more readable. I would just write certain things. She's like, Brian, people don't understand this. I'm like, well, if you go back 5 pages, I explained it. You have to explain it again. You have to make sure that they reinforce the concept. So it's much more readable because of her.
It sounds like we're both blessed with better halves. So shout out to that every single day. All right, is there just one more broad question before I let you go? And again, thank you for all those names, including TMO. I really like to look on some of those names today for potential breakouts. Any sector, if we can just sort of maybe go a little broader. I know there's a lot of traders in our chat here that looking for different ETFs that they're trying to buy. Was there anything that sort of interests to you? I'm going to give you one for me. I like XLV right here, still trying to break out in the healthcare sector. Was there anything that you're looking at maybe potentially breaking out or something that we might have missed or doesn't get talked about enough that you're looking at?
Well, I think if something that doesn't get spoken about a lot is XLRE real estate, and this one is clearly breaking higher. It's got room to run. Oh, yeah. I look at some of the components, and they're just they look great. Here's a monthly chart. There's the anchor off of that high. I mean, if you look at where we are right now in the XLRE, and then look at the Qs, for instance, off of this high on a monthly chart. We're basically right here, Sean, where we were in May of 2023 for the NASDAQ is what the XLRE is looking at. The problem is XLRE is a much slower moving. There's a lot of components in there that pay nice, 5-6% dividends. So I think you kind of go through that list. I've got a number of them somewhere around here on my, AGNC, BRX, BXP, Cube, CUZ, KIM, VNO. Those are some of the ones that are, pay pretty decent dividends and have a good yield to them. So maybe look there. And I think that bonds are on their way as well. They are, it's go time for the bonds. They're in a do or die place here. They're back above all the moving averages. I think you've got a pretty quick move, probably up to about 102 on the TLT. So those are some places, more defensive type stuff.
Yeah, we are getting more questions. Thanks for going over some of the bonds and the Treasury there, as you mentioned, because we do get some questions on the show all the time. More recently now on TLT and looking to trade that. So I think that's picking up a little bit of steam. All right, we covered a heck of a lot there. Thank you for the XLRE. We talked about Intel, Uber, Chipotle, Starbucks, many more names. It's Brian Shannon. You can go find him at Alpha Trends. Thank you for the shirt. Thank you for the Canadian love there one more time today. Everybody, please hit the like and the subscribe and go find this gentleman. Really great stuff. And I like what you did there. Dizzy's been a dog and you use Goofy. So I really like that one. It's Brian Shannon. Thank you so much, my friend. Join us next week.
Thank you, Brian.
Bye. Thanks.
Ciao, Trader Talk. I mean, always the best. I don't, I don't know what to say. We just ask him what. Look, we talk about Intel. The guy pulls up a 30-year anchor.
He does. He's ready to go. He's ready with like 30
I'm gonna try to find a name for him next week, and we're gonna see what happens. But that Intel was an interesting one. You can throw everything at him. I want to thank Brian again, and we hold viewers. They love Brian Shannon. Go make sure you do pick up his book again. Great help, always on the show, and just giving different perspectives. Sometimes, right?
It's really
and
cool.
Different names that we don't look at.
Yeah.
Different opportunities like that XLRE. It's on the board here. We have it. It's right down here. If you come over to my screen, so it's down at the bottom here, a 0.7. But yeah, some of those things get lost. Yeah. You want to ask a guy like that questions like that. I think that's very, very important. But what's very, very important as well is we could talk a little bit about the sticky note. And, we have that on the board there today. I think the sticky note is something that I try to do every single day. And it's just a way for me to write down the ideas that I think are the best, or at least names that I want to look at. Can we pick the exact prices all of the time? No. Or do we know if a stock is going to dip into a level or not? I don't know. Do we know Tesla's going to rip today? We don't know anything. But what we try to do is That's right. Pound the alarm, first of all. That means we got to get out of here, but not without showing a little bit of this. And this is what we talked about here today. We had Nvidia long, we had Apple long, we had Tesla short, we had Palantir at a key level of 30. We had Google on our mind. We talked about that in here as well on that Pixelverse event. We looked at that, and then we nailed Starbucks. So all of those plays were definitely on the radar. My top stocks today. Apple P&L number 1. Again, we knew we wanted that. Nvidia creeped up there at the end of the day. Interesting to go see my net right now as we get that dollar winner in the aftermarket. So that was really nice. And then Starbucks on the short was good. There's one more name, Nvidia. Google. Google was P&L number 1 today, or Apple was, then Google, then Nvidia. So that was a good one. But we still got to do roll call.
We do.
You guys hear that? That was the most epic roll call of all time.
That was different.
When we had Brian on, we sometimes got to turn it up.
Yeah.
We can hear him, but we also turn it up the effects as well. And that roll call one definitely got turned up. Okay, what's up to my good friend there? As you can see right now live on the screen, we have Adam DeLuz. It was a pleasure meeting you as well. And he's coming into Toronto, so you're gonna meet Adam as well.
I am. That's awesome. That's exciting. You guys had a great time there in London.
Yeah, we just had a couple of drinks. It was really fun. We sat on top of Opera House there. We had a drink there, and we had arranged that before, so that was really fun. What's up to Charlie Taff? He had some good trades today. Thank you for the comments as well on the main show there about real trading. Nathan Williams is here as well. Andrew Chow says wave. I wave back at you, Andrew, as well. Mahus Watkins is here as well. JJ. Right now, are we wearing the Submariner? Yes, we are. Right now, he asked, what's up to Daryl as well? Shout out to that. He says, shout out to Daryl and Adara. He says, shout out to you there. Aaron Scott, the Nathan Williams is here. I don't want to repeat it. Adrian Bao is here as well. Adam's there. Neil's here. Nathan Williams. Verisot is here. Our good friend and a big friend of the show. And couldn't do it without him. Bears versus Bulls. So let's give one more shout out to him. Young Fuzz. How come I haven't heard that, man? There's like all this Young Money, Young Gravy, all that kind of stuff. There's Young
Lean,
Fuzz.
yeah.
Yeah. Everyone, man. Young, I don't know. Couldn't think
if you're young, you're probably a rapper name. Yeah, and you're not old.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, you know what I think about? There's always like Little Baby, Little Gunner.
Yeah, now there's La. Now they're done with Lou. Now there's La, like L-U-H. That's the thing now. La Tyler.
There just used to be the Beatles. There used to be like Nirvana.
They've changed the names up a lot for sure in the game.
Yeah, now there's all these apostrophes all over the place. All right, Janek, Derek, Joseph, everybody, Hans. Look, if it was Ramin, we'd stay a little longer. But Fabian already hit that bell, so we got to get out of here. For Adara, I'm Sean. Big thank you to Brian one more time here today. And there it is again. We got to get out of here. We're off to like Whole Foods. We got to pick up some sausage for tonight.
Nice.
The daughter has requested that. I get the El Diablo, the spicy stuff.
Your daughter is a much braver woman than I am.
No. She doesn't get. I get.
Oh.
I have to get for them. They get like the Canadian kind, which is like cheddar bacon infused.
Oh, and you get the El Diablo.
I get the El Diablo.
Okay.
You're probably more on the lighter side of that.
I'm probably not on any of those. They're all probably too spicy.
You're on the mild Italian. All right, thank you, sir. Maybe not even, man. Let's even.
I was gonna say, like that even sounds a little dicey for me.
Yeah, Oktoberfest.
Mild Chipotle is too spicy.
Okay, we'll figure it out. Thank you so much for watching one more time. This is Sean.
I'm Adara.
That's Adara. And tomorrow will be Neil on the show. Oh no, I'm filling in tomorrow.
I was gonna say.
Neil's not even here. You might be alone.
Oh, okay, cool. We can do that. We got this.
I'll be
Go
here.
team.
Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, everybody.